Hello.
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 Welcome to the Comics Pals. This is episode 275. Thank you to all of you who are listening, whether that's live on Twitch or wherever else you get this podcast. I want to start off, the gang's all here, by the way. I want to start off asking you guys, has anybody watched Peacemaker? Anybody watching Peacemaker?
Yeah. Me and my wife
a lot
are.
of fun.
Yeah. Hello, the medic. Good morning.
Yo, what's good, bud?
Peacemaker's a blast.
Yeah,
It's
it's
real
been a lot
good.
of fun.
Yeah. Holy shit. Like this is not an official review. We'll get to that down the road, but just first 4 episodes deep or whatever, 5, whatever it is. This shit's really good. Like I wish I had picked this for my show of the year.
It's like super goofy, irreverent. I liked from the moment that they put the intro and just made that consistent like a dance number. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be off the wall, and it's been violent enough too.
So it's funny you should mention the dance number because my wife, we were watching it together, and she is, whenever the dance number comes on, she's like, I gotta do the dance. And she just
Yeah.
does it.
She's one of those.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, get that
you
recorded.
can't skip it. You can't skip it.
I skip it every time.
How? It's so good.
Except the first time. It's like an anime. You always watch the intro the first time, and that's it.
Yeah, like
I mean, I get a little bit of extra show with mine too, so I get to see it live.
Creek or something. Yeah, can you record that? Can you
I'm not sure she'd want me to.
All right, well,
You guys should do it together.
I don't dance. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
dance.
that's
I
on
dance at
TikTok,
my
bro.
wedding, that's it.
Yeah.
No,
you know, Tyler stands in his fucking living room and does that dance.
Yeah.
Whenever his wife does. Come on, Tyler.
No. I just
Come
do.
on, dude.
I do some like David Byrne looking dance moves. That's about it.
Who the fuck is David Byrne?
Really, talking heads, man. Nothing.
No.
Oh, okay.
Morning,
You talking heads to me?
morning, Harris. Morning, Hermes Pip. Welcome,
Harris, you
guys.
putting in that
Harris,
work?
have you slept at all since the Pokemon stream yesterday? I feel like you were on the whole time, just chatting it up. Thanks for being there, by the way.
Peacemaker is the biggest show in the world.
I know.
What?
The
Excuse
most
me?
streamed show in the world.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Huh?
Yeah. It's true. It's real
Who's doing
good.
those? Who's doing those numbers?
Well, listen.
Mr. Nielsen himself. I used to think Leslie Nielsen did all the ratings. I was like, man, that guy is a workhorse.
How come I don't have a Nielsen home? Like, they never asked me. They never checked.
I don't think
what
that's
I'm watching.
real. I don't think that I've never met somebody who had the Nielsen box.
It's because we live in the city.
That doesn't mean
Yeah.
shit. I don't like. What does that mean?
I feel like the demographic is usually like Middle America where they do those tests.
That's
For
what
Peacemaker?
I always thought. Yeah. White John Cena guy.
Oh. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, America-loving, gun-toting Peacemaker.
Absolutely.
Eagly.
Eagly's great. So Kale, you like Suicide Squad, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. This is a lot of that kind of feel.
Same
All
vibe.
right.
It almost
I'll
feels like James
pirate it.
Gunn agreed to do Suicide Squad just so you can do the show.
I think
can
it's
see
better
it.
than Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's more
I think-
accessible. Yeah.
I think the cast was probably a bit more engaging in Suicide Squad, but I like that this feels more like sitcom-y in that sense. I'm digging it.
Sitcom.
It's
Yeah, it's-
definitely, yeah.
It's got those beats on it.
Huh.
Hermes Pip says, I think this is better than Suicide Squad. Yeah, I completely agree.
This is better than Suicide Squad? Come on.
Oh, this
podcast is,
podcast?
yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
thank you so much.
Starro's
Yeah.
not even here.
Well, he was the worst part of the movie, so, thank goodness.
I mean-
Sultan of Swing says Peacemaker's excellent, completely agree. I just wanted to, get you guys ramped up by mentioning how bad Starro was in the movie.
I'll let it go because Peacemaker is really good. I'll
Yeah.
give it that. If I can get McKenna, my wife, to watch a comic book show, you're doing something right.
Yeah, you win.
Definitely. We won't spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it, but we will eventually review it because it's worth it, I think.
I do
Clearly,
recommend it highly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. Go go watch it if you've got HBO Max, but not before you finish hanging out with us. And if you want to support the show, there are plenty of ways that you can do that. Make sure that you guys are leaving us a follow, a rating, and a review wherever it is that you catch this podcast. Even if it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is, help us out by leaving us a rating and a review. YouTube.com/TheComicsPals. Subscribe to our channel for free. Like the video, share it with your friends. All that stuff is free to do, and it helps us out a lot more than it costs you. We unlock community posts, which is pretty cool. I'm going to be messing with that this week. Go check out our Saga Book Club. We're pretty proud of that one. 2 hours of us dissecting one of the best modern comics of all time. Absolutely.
High praise.
And then listen to our review of issue 55, which dropped the next day over on Pals Pulse, which you can tune into live on Twitch every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, or catch on YouTube and everywhere else the next day, Thursday.
I think the Saga review got overshadowed by the Dick Gate in Human Target #4.
Oh man, you know what? I'm giving too much to this podcast. Okay, I had a revelation this week.
Too much material, Sean.
I gotta stop. If I ever want to be a big boy and make it in this business of writing comics, having clips like that out there of me is not gonna help. So you know what? I'm done. I'm not talking about these things anymore. I'm not. I'm not. Being
Highly doubt that.
I feel like that'll would help. Those are critical analysis pieces.
Yep.
In a comic that came out this Wednesday, Jed McKay managed to sneak in the phrase "dump truck ass" when referring to MJ.
My understanding is he didn't even sneak that in.
No, he put it in. They saw it. And they're like, "Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Yep."
This is good.
Yes. I heard very good things about that one shot. It's a Black Cat Mary Jane team up issue where they go against Parker Robbins, aka the Hood.
So I love the Hood, dude.
Oh, dude,
Black Cat and Mary Jane would go against me.
I saw I think it was a tweet talking about who could be the next, who could be the street level big bad.
Yeah, it's
for me it's the Hood, dude.
Yep.
You don't think he fizzled out with Bendis?
I do, but I feel like there's a lot of meat there still, for the right writer,
For the right writer,
a cool character. The right writer. The medic says, just to be clear, you're talking about the new Suicide Squad, not the one with Will Smith where he stole the entire movie. Yes, we are talking about the good one.
Yeah, the one with Will Smith. When it comes to Parker Robbins, I got one thing I got to say about that.
This is a certified Hood classic.
So's this podcast. Join our Discord server if you want to hang out with us beyond the show. We're always having a good time over there. Don't go to the Weeb channel. That's the Badlands.
Nope.
But everywhere else is cool.
That's the Wolverine, Logan Badlands thing? Old Man Logan Badlands? That's where the mutant Hulks live.
That's where the mutant Hulks live. It's like the Bronx. You're not supposed to. Dude, there's a map of of New York City, and it shows you all the bad areas based on colors. The whole
colors.
Not that kind of color.
Oh boy,
you said it.
For example, okay, where I live is an orange zone, it's like an orange zone. The whole of the Bronx is red. That means if you go there, the odds of you getting out alive are not high. That's the Weeb channel.
Dude, I've fallen asleep on the train in the Bronx. It's fine.
Did you have everything you got on the train with in your pockets?
In my pockets, yeah. I left my dignity somewhere on the train, but
well, I'm telling you, man, it's dangerous over there. I wouldn't go alone. Anyway. No, just kidding. There are people I love in the Bronx, but
I don't see them.
I go to the Bronx weekly. I really do. Although I should probably stop that. Anyway, we have a lot of show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the book banning controversy that has brought Mouse up to the second and fourth best selling books on Amazon.
Amazing.
Yep. book bannings don't work the way they used to. Sorry, Middle America.
How did they used to work?
It used to be that if you banned a book, you know, it wasn't that accessible, and you had to go to some underground area to get
True.
it. You know,
Yeah.
Nowadays, you can just go to Amazon.com and buy that shit and sell it out. You know, you can't prevent people from reading books anymore. But anyway,
They ban a book and comes next day free delivery.
exactly. Yeah. For Art Spiegelman, that's the best thing that Tennessee ever done for him. Right?
Is he
what a
still
gift.
around?
Yeah,
He must be.
been
Yeah,
commenting on
he's
it.
like old and stuff
Oh,
too.
really? Okay.
Have you
Good for him.
not seen that? Have you not seen that still of him on CNN sneaking a vape hit?
What? Oh,
Yeah.
Art Spiegelman's cool as fuck.
Oh man, we're going to be talking about the new Avengers X-Men Eternals event that we continue to have to talk about because there are always bombshells. This one involves the mutants, and it might actually tell us how Marvel's going to be introducing them into the MCU. We are going to talk about how we're getting more Daredevil. Iron Man's tying the knot, if you can believe that.
Again?
Yeah. And in our main topic, Image is 30 years old. Image is officially old. And we're going to
What does that mean? I'm turning 30 this year. Jeez, come on.
I'm over 30, okay? Image
Yeah.
is old.
Yeah. If it feels anything like I do, it's old.
Yeah. I mean, everybody that works for Image has gray hair. Let's be real, okay? These dudes are not spring chickens. At least all the originals, right? And so we're just going to talk about the legacy of Image and that 2010 dominance, you know, the 10s era dominance, and what Image has to do in the future to stay relevant. So that's the show we've got planned for all of you guys. If you're watching this live or wherever you can comment, let us know what you guys are thinking about Peacemaker. If you're into Peacemaker, let us know. It's been a lot of fun so far.
Not Peacekeeper. It's not Peacekeeper. It's Peacemaker.
Not Peacekeeper, Peacemaker. And also let us know what spin-off, because James Gunn said this week that they're going to do another Suicide Squad spin-off. So write in and let us know what you think it's going to be about. I'm saying it's Ratcatcher 2.
No, what?
My
King Shark,
wife,
bro.
there's a lot of CG there. I don't know if
Yeah,
that.
that's tough, man. That's tough.
My wife wants a Weasel series.
No. Weasel.
She was a big fan of Weasel.
Apparently Marco is too.
Bro, his whole like bit in that thing was dying and coming back to life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. He's still around.
Best character.
The medic says Polka Dot Man. Didn't he get iced?
He did.
Yeah,
he
he
did.
did.
Oh, but you know what? I could see.
Spoilers. The prequel.
I could see a series
I'm
like that though. No?
Like
Starro.
what? When he comes
Like-
back?
No, not he goes back, but like a prequel situation.
Oh, yeah. I really need a prequel of Polka Dot Man.
I mean, you don't need it, but I could see it.
I mean, if you had to, but I feel like Ratcatcher 2 is immediately more interesting than a Polka Dot
A
Man.
little more
prequel.
compelling, yeah.
Unless
What
we're going to
about,
meet the fam.
Bloodsport.
I mean, yeah, right,
Yeah, that'd be
obviously,
cool.
but I didn't say that or Margot Robbie because they're definitely not doing it. In fact, in the Hollywood
Yeah, no, I
Reporter
don't
article,
think so.
they said they're unavailable. So,
Yeah, Idris Elba's gonna be Bond, so there's no way he's doing it.
I wish. That's a rumor, but I wish.
I think they should do a prequel about Blackguard.
Wait, who's that?
It's Pete Davidson.
Don't fucking bring him up, dude. Do that. You don't have to.
Dude fucks.
Oh God.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it right.
Do you see what Kanye's doing now? Kanye's doing the most petty shit ever. He's spreading rumors that Pete Davidson has AIDS.
What the fuck?
Incredible.
I had to hold myself back. I'm not talking about this.
You know what? I can't believe there's a world where I'm like, you know what? Maybe Kanye's not so bad then.
Oh my God. I'm Team Kanye in this shit. Fuck it. I can't support Pete Davidson. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I'm not saying he has AIDS. I'm just saying that.
He's mediocre.
Yeah, I heard he was
Worse
dating
than
the
me.
green M&M now too.
Wait, what?
No, never mind.
The medic says Polka Dot Man, also King Shark. Yeah, I don't know. I don't foresee those, but who knows? I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to King Shark for sure.
Apparently, King Shark has a comic, and it's like 13 issues in.
Yeah,
Wow.
So
By
like
Tim
that.
Seeley, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
He's somebody I could see making that.
They might be
work.
digital issues though, Marco. So it's like actually 5 issues.
Either way,
Oh,
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you to everybody that joins us live on Twitch Saturdays for the show and drops comments. It's really awesome that you guys engage with us in this way. Speaking of comments, though, we do have a few listener comments to get through. So, Tyler, why don't you take us in?
Yeah, so Kilgore Trout, I guess, is catching up to all the videos lately. And yeah, he wrote in on Moon Knight. They should move Moon Knight over to Hulu so that we can get proper Moon Knight violence. I don't think Disney is moving any of their Marvel stuff to Hulu.
no.
They did
It's on there
Hellstrom,
now.
which for like a season. They did that MODOK show, and I think that's all they're doing. It's Disney Plus all the way now.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like it's like the shows like Hitmonkey's on there right now, right? Like the shows
That's true,
that are
yeah.
more like offbeat, not that maybe aren't productions by like a full Disney Plus team. Those seem like Hulu productions. So, and I don't know. I don't even know if moving it over necessarily makes it more violent or allows for that violence, because we've been getting good action sequences and stuff like Mando. Not the same kind of like hardcore violence, but I don't know. I don't see that as a problem.
Well, so this is the thing that I think a lot of people don't necessarily understand. The shows that we have seen on Hulu and other places, those are shows that were made by Marvel TV, Marvel Television. And Marvel Television might as well have been a different company for all of the integration or lack thereof, rather. They're not a part of Marvel Studios. Those were not overseen by Kevin Feige. Very little overlap. And the end of Marvel Television, like the tail of that, is the shows that you're still seeing. Whether there will be anything beyond these shows is obviously up to Disney and Marvel Studios, but it will probably be very limited whenever that does happen. But when you look at the slate of television shows that are Marvel based coming to Disney Plus, I really can't foresee them doing more shows that pop up elsewhere, right? Like they're already doing so much.
Especially from an accessibility standpoint, you want these people to kind of be invested in this universe and to make them subscribe to a different subscription to get all those pieces. I mean, if you're watching like Book of Boba Fett right now, which is good, guys, stop reading internet, rumors about it. But like a Wookiee rips a guy's arm off. So
That's cool.
Oh, look, Matthew P.L. Murphy just got gifted a sub by Kale.
Hey.
Oh, look at that.
Wow, okay, Kale, but Matt,
What does that mean?
you should have subbed, you jerk. I'm just kidding.
I think it randomized it. Did you pick him or it randomized it?
No, I didn't know what that meant. I thought it would do it, and it would be a good thing. I didn't know it would it would pick the whole thing.
That's a good thing.
It picked Matt. Yeah, it picked Matt.
Yeah,
So
good for Matt.
I'm fucking done.
And so his next comment is a response to what I said, which was just basically what we just discussed. So
yeah, he said the comics they own Hulu too, so I don't see why not. At least until they add an adult
Comic Pals
feature
on
Disney.
Hulu. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, well, I wish.
Disney's been trying to get it from us, but we won't break
We'll
it.
budge.
Yep.
But Kilgore says, I'm already not happy about their decision to make the new Blade PG-13. I mean, this is just the world we live in. For it to be accessible to the masses, especially an MCU joint, it's got to be PG-13. I don't see an MCU movie being rated R. Even if they do another Deadpool, I don't think it'll be rated R.
it will be. That's confirmed.
Is it?
Yeah, but I think that is an aberration. We can't look at that and glean anything from it
Fair.
because that's a holdover from Fox. They want Ryan Reynolds. Deadpool's a beast of its own. You're not, like, if you were gonna do an R-rated MCU movie, right? Of all the characters that they have done films with so far, Blade would be the one, and they're not doing it with Blade. The only other character is Punisher, and I'm not sure he gets a movie, let alone an R-rated one. I just don't think that Disney's going to go down that road. There's a contingent of fans who really want that, and like I don't really know what you think is going on. Like, you know, Disney doesn't do that. They're not in that business.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get that stuff.
I don't see Disney selling, you know, Blade collectible pins next to their Moana pins if Blade's a violent, rated R horror action movie.
And you can do so much in PG-13 now. I mean, it's really not that serious.
You can say fuck once, right?
You get one.
I think
there you go.
Do you get more than one now?
Is that right?
Not in a Disney movie.
No, I don't think you get one in a Disney movie, to be honest. But
we've heard limited cursing throughout some of these movies, right?
Limited.
Yeah, very
in
limited.
Spider-Man, I think Doctor Strange says shit a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah, he just walked around saying shit.
Yep, he did walk around saying shit.
Scooby-Doo this shit, please.
Ruh-roh. So we also had another comment from Christian Richmond. Okay, guys, finally finished Hoxpox. Only read Astonishing and Carrie's Marauders before it, and reading this new woven storyline was challenging and complex in a good, rewarding way. However, I have heard you guys talk about how good the Hickman X-Men story is post Hoxpox. I want to know if there is more emotional character moments and witty dialogue in the Hickman X-Men and other X books. I did enjoy the complex Moira-driven story, but I didn't feel much in the way of story-built emotion from or much witty dialogue, which is two of the things that really drew me into Whedon's Astonishing. I think this...
You definitely get the dialogue. I think there's a lot of back and forth moments with different characters. That's the thing we always go back on is issue 9 or something, where they're having that debate with world leaders, and it's like super tense. It's all over conversation. You get a lot of good moments like that, and Apocalypse becomes my favorite character. So I feel like if you could attach yourself to somebody, that's probably the character to do so.
I think if you're a fan of Whedon's witty dialogue, you don't get that in Hickman.
No. Not to the same caliber, for sure.
No, I feel like there might be some other books where you'd get that. Maybe Marauders might be a good option for you, or even Excalibur. They're a lot more character driven, where I feel like Hickman's X-Men is more plot driven.
Yeah.
I still think you should read it.
They have the snappiest dialogue, for sure.
Yeah.
And the most drama related to the characters, for sure. So those are the books that I would go with. Interestingly, Marvel put out a trailer this week for Krakoa that I wish they had done last year, because there's so many people that listen to this show or who just, you know, would like to get into the X-Men that don't really know or understand what's been going on. And we've had to explain it, and I'm sure others have had to explain it. You kind of have to find your way into this information. I think the trailer is perfect for that. So yeah, it gives you a good idea of what you're going to get from this era. So I'd recommend to go check that out if you need a frame of reference. But yeah, don't go into this expecting Hickman or Whedon-esque dialogue, for sure. Did you intentionally skip over Harris's comment, Tyler?
Nope, I just accidentally scrolled past it. Harris. I remember Harris's comment. So Harris listed his own top 5 X-Men in no particular order. And I'm going to preface this by saying this is the most buck wild top 5 I've ever seen for an X-Men. Like, no offense, Harris. I love the list. But, like, this is like, I can tell you actually like these characters if you put them up here. So you have Mimic, Morph, Darwin, Colossus, and Cypher.
It's a pretty cool team.
So I've never made bones about it. I'm friends with Harris in real life, and I can tell you right now, these are the characters he really loves. This is how he is. He always loves. Yes,
where Mimic has been in what, Dark X-Men and then the original X-Men run, like.
I think Mimic in Blink. What X-Men?
Gen X? No, that's
not Gen X. The one where they
Exiles.
The Exiles.
Yeah.
Okay, was Mimic on that team?
I don't remember Mimic being on Exiles. Okay, Harris is saying Exiles.
Okay,
so,
right.
Okay.
So Harris introduced me to the Exiles very early on in my comics reading, and Mimic was there, and he loved Mimic then. So that's how I know that that's his guy. Yeah.
And the X-Men series in the 90s, Mimic was in. And you didn't put X-Man on your list?
X-Man. Wow. I don't know.
You know about X-Man?
I know a little bit about X-Man.
Isn't he at Summers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is it X-Men? X-Men is Cable if Cable doesn't have the techno-organic virus, I believe. Right?
God, man, 90s X-Men is confusing as shit. Yeah, Nate Gray.
Yeah,
okay. Yep.
Yeah. Love the X-Men. Buck wild 90s shit. I got to read more of that. But I think I'm gonna have to lose some kind of game here to be forced to purchase those books.
Hey, you know what? I have a really good series if you need one. Just letting you know.
Dude, Marco, listen, man. Don't challenge me anymore, okay?
It's good. I would be heartbroken to part with it, but I think you'll enjoy it a lot.
I think
are you gonna let it go for free? Because if you are,
oh boy, he's gonna be in the hole if that's the case.
He's already in the hole.
Or lack thereof. So, Sean, if you're going to pick up like 90s X-Men, I recommend Gen X. It deals with like Sync and Monet. She's just Penance there. You get like weird guys like Skin too, but like it's good stuff. It's early Bacalo art too.
You know, man, I just wish you had said like Jean Grey or Cyclops. No,
sorry, no,
that's tough. That's tough. I don't know, dude.
Also a summer.
Yeah, exactly. I love the Summers clan. Those are my people. I feel welcomed by them. Let's play Kale's game. Every week now we play a new game, and Kale is up. So let's see what Kale put together for us.
Welcome to TCP Theater. I only
boy.
put together sound clips. I don't have any impressive visuals or anything. So sorry.
Can I ask a question? Is this a game that the audience can participate in any way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. So
actually,
be ready.
yes.
I have a question. Will you be...
All right, you guys are going to have to slow down. I haven't even explained the game yet.
You open the floor for questions yet?
It is open, but I will close it.
Okay. Well, you're just going to tell me when to play these things, right?
Yeah.
And it's just... Are you doing Foley art in this?
Guess you'll have to find out.
I guess so. All right.
All right. So the object of the game is what I have done is I've put together small scenes which are primarily sound effects based. Your job is to guess what character they're based on.
Okay.
I
so-
like this.
Can you explain that again?
So each one is specific to a character.
It's a soundscape, I guess, right?
It's a scene in a character's this week is origins. So you have to guess what character this is based on the soundscape.
So if I heard like metal on a hammer, like Iron Man or something like that.
Wrong. So you'll get it. You'll get it with the example. Tyler, go ahead and play the example.
Oh, you want me to play the example one? Okay, yeah, I can play
Yeah,
that.
do the example.
And now we will begin the demonstration.
Oh, is that the whole example?
No.
okay.
Can you hear? I can't hear. I only heard myself. The demonstration.
It should be
thing.
coming through.
This concludes the demonstration. Please remove your safety equipment and move to the next area. Thank you.
So the listeners can hear it, but we can't.
You can't.
Great.
Okay, hold on. That I can fix this. Hold on.
Okay.
Well, you heard
Yeah,
Kel
the only-
talking, right?
I
That's
heard
the
Kel
only thing I
talking.
heard.
Yeah, that's all I
Yeah.
heard.
Okay, maybe I just need to increase the output on it. Let's see.
And then
Select
I heard. I feel like I
microphone.
heard in the background him going, "Oh, what the fuck."
Oh yeah, so you are hearing it.
Just barely, yeah.
Okay, try to up the volume on the Zoom chat then for you guys because it's coming through fine through my end.
I don't even know how to do that, quite frankly.
Go to volume mixer
Yep.
in your Windows.
In your settings.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So, Kale, is there an actual answer to that one? The example?
Yes.
So, what it sounded like it was a loudspeaker, or like a sound speaker, someone talking over it, and then it sounded like almost like a ticker tape or
Play it one more time.
a keyboard. Okay, yeah, I can play it one more time.
And now we will begin the demonstration.
Do you like hearing your own voice there, Kel?
No, I can't hear anything else.
Yeah.
So we just have chat guess at this point. Like, what is? I don't hear it.
I'm totally hearing it.
You can hear it?
Yeah, and the chat can hear it too. It sounds like a typewriter.
I don't hear jack shit.
This might just be a Tyler game then.
Wait, all right. So
let's see.
it sounds like a typewriter. Tyler, describe it to us, and we'll try to guess off of that.
Okay, so it's a loudspeaker like that, and then it sounds like a typewriter after it. So, and the guy is saying this concludes the demonstration. Please, it sounds like a money catcher.
Money
Counter, money counter.
Typing.
Welcome, OMG Amango. Thank you for the comment, man. Appreciate you.
I really thought this would be a lot easier.
Is it Clark Kent? No, you said Origins was the hint, right?
Ben Urich.
His origin would just be birth. It would be the sound of someone being birthed.
Give us a hint. Give us a hint, Kale.
Okay. The typewriter is a sound. It's not a typewriter, but it would be advanced in the 60s.
Computer.
And there is more to describe in the clip that you missed, Tyler.
Okay, let me play it one more time. I think I changed the Zoom
my
settings.
God.
I changed the Zoom settings. I'm
did
doing it for
too.
myself now because I want to know.
And now we will begin the demonstration.
We should be able to hear a crowd behind that.
Yeah, I hear a crowd.
Okay, there's that.
What is this?
That concludes the demonstration. Please remove your safety equipment.
Did you hear that?
and
I hear
move
that.
To the next area.
Oh, okay.
Thank
I
you.
got it. It's Spider-Man.
It's Peter Parker. Yeah, it's the lab accident that created Spider-Man.
Oh,
Was that a centrifuge sound?
I don't remember what the sound was.
I heard the owl. I heard the owl in the crowd, so I assumed. Okay, I get it. You guys heard that one now, though, right? Like I fixed it.
Barely.
We heard
barely.
more. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, let's try the first one. Cal, can I go with the first one?
Yeah, do the first one. Let's see.
Is it still Origins? Is that just the
That's-
across the
that's-
board?
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Wait,
Let's see.
try going on mute. So maybe we won't interfere with the sound. I heard like lasers.
Lasers?
Yeah.
Okay. Dang it.
Okay,
Lasers
this
in a royal
sounded.
theme.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Doctor
So
Who. Harris says Doctor Who.
Prince
who's
Robot.
that? It would have to be origin. So we don't really know Prince Robot's origin because that's probably birth too. So is it? So lasers. It sounded like a British theme.
Yeah.
The beginning of it was a dig. Like you can hear shovels and like an archaeology dig.
Okay. Lasers.
Lasers and British music.
Archaeology dig. Who's an archaeologist?
Adam Strange.
Adam Strange. Tyler gets it again.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yo, this sucks. I'm so sorry.
What's with the theme? The royal theme is he British?
No, well, it's just he's
royalty.
He's a hero.
My God,
yeah.
what
Okay,
the fuck?
all right. Let's do the next one. I'm having fun with this because I can hear it better than you guys can.
Yeah, I fucking bet you are.
Bullshit.
All right,
What
let's
are these
see.
janky games about?
I like all these. Okay. Harris said this game is called Vague Sounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you.
I heard like rattling at the beginning, and then I present to you, and then nothing.
I don't understand how you guys can't hear it. The settings are all right.
You didn't hear nothing, and that's very important.
I mean, I heard something, but I'm not even like sure what it was. Harris says Zatanna King Kong. I don't think it could be King Kong.
It's got to be comic book related.
Yeah, it's a comic book character.
I'm gonna say Iron Man or
It's not Iron Man.
the Human Torch.
It's the Human Torch. Yeah.
There we go.
What?
It's the
Because I can
original
hear
Human
it.
Torch. Yeah.
Damn, that's
maybe-
crazy.
Put the stream on. That seems to be working.
Listen,
No, you listen.
I have the Zoom audio as high as possible.
Yeah.
I can't hear it.
I know. Yeah. No, I can't hear it either.
I think it's a Zoom thing. I think Zoom's just not taking the aggregated output that I have. But whatever. Microphone.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. But I just don't understand how you guys are only hearing certain things and not everything. All right, next one. Let's see. Let's see if the chat
Next
at least
one, what's
has
the
fun.
point? So you can win more? It's already X3.
Let's see.
I mean, it's over.
Sean, I'm listening here.
I can hear Kale swallowing more than I can hear anything. That's the only sound I hear. It's big gulps.
So Sean thinks it's Matter Eating Lab. Oh, this one is Green Lantern. This one's Green Lantern.
Nope.
It's not?
It sounded like a rushing
This
like
is Superman.
engine.
This is Mom and Pa Ken finding Superman's spaceship.
Yep.
Oh, there's the
Man,
baby.
these must be pretty elaborate.
Baby?
Kale.
Baby?
They really are. Yeah.
What
they
fucking
really are.
baby?
It's pretty
It's
good.
it's
I-
Pretty good.
I worked really hard on this.
it's such a shame because you can hear like that there's production there.
There's production. It works. But Zoom doesn't want to play ball here. So
Tyler just guessed like 3 times.
One for each of us.
one for each of you. I'm
I'm trying to figure out what I even heard.
So if I can describe it, it's if I can describe the sounds, it was the spaceship, and then it sounded like it crashed, and then you heard like a pickup truck sound, and then a baby crying.
You know what? I'll say this. Because the game's over. I'm ending the game.
That's the end of it.
Oh,
So
thank goodness. Okay, Tyler wins. Happy. Clap it
The
up.
fix is in.
A for effort, because this actually is a good game in concept. But F for the fact that the contestants can't hear it.
Well, the chat can. This is the chat game.
And notice how the chat has gotten 0 of them correct.
That's not on Kale.
And that Harris has guessed Doctor Who, Adam West, a typewriter, and King Kong. Okay.
Oh, I mean, that just seems like a misunderstanding of the rules, but that's not on Kale. Guys, that's been an episode of Vague Sounds.
To be fair, that's a lot better title than what I came up with.
What was your name?
It was TCP Theater.
Oh, right.
Which would be the case if everyone could hear it.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'll figure that out next time, and we don't. I don't stay on the toilet for an extra half hour, and
Jesus Christ.
actually do that, guys. I didn't feel good this morning. All right.
What did you get into last night?
Just playing Pokemon and drinking, man, and then oh boy, burritos, Pokemon, drinking. It was a bad idea. Kale, good job. Not anymore.
Good job, Kale.
Said Sean reluctantly.
Yes.
Good effort.
I will. I'll put the actual audio clips in the Discord, and everybody can enjoy them if they so choose.
It's nice though. It feels like those things that you would like. You put on YouTube and like fall asleep to. You know.
Yeah. I'd rather hear the moan fart thing that you have.
The moan fart thing. What are you talking about? Why can you guys hear that and not anything else?
I can also hear the Magneto one, to be fair.
Okay, all right.
I definitely thought about asking for that one for Saga.
Oh man.
Moan, bark, fart. Yeah, that's Saga.
Yep.
Oh man, we should ban that that on this podcast, that audio, because it has moan.
It's efforts every moment. You can't ban that.
Yeah. Well, we don't ban things here. Unlike Tennessee.
Oh, that's a segue.
Thanks, man. Who voted to ban Art Spiegelman's mouse from one of their school districts. They claim that the reasoning is due to the use of bad language, like the word bitch, damn, and God. As well,
that bad word, God.
Yeah. As well as an image of a nude woman. And so the discussion has been about whether or not we should be allowing children to see, and I believe this was 8th grade. We should be allowing children to consume books that are, that have bad language, nude women, or deal with subject matter that is going to be maybe tough for them to grapple with. And so, unfortunately, it was voted that mouse would be banned. This, of course, sparked a firestorm of conversation on social media about book bannings, book burnings, and just how awful it is. It's worth pointing out that this happening represents a bigger agenda on the part of a lot of right-wing groups, conservative groups, who are actually targeting school districts and going to these, encouraging their members to go to school board meetings and things like that and challenge books and ask that they be banned, put them up for vote. This, of course, goes hand in hand with the critical race theory arguments that happened last summer and banning that as something to be taught in schools. So obviously, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I say that we all agree here that this should never happen, right?
Oh, sorry. I misheard you. I thought you said we all agree that this shit never happened. I'm like, yo, what podcast am I on? Yeah, I didn't know I was on that kind of podcast. Whoa.
You're definitely not. But it's just unfortunate that whenever something like this happens, there is the children are used as the scapegoat, right? And that's what I hate the most. It's this idea that children can't handle this kind of content, and they certainly can.
And I don't even think it's like a question of handling it. I think it's
is that
also
what you think?
Marcus Puberty came in again.
Is that what you think? Marco's trying to deep your voice.
You sound like the villain from The Mask.
We're having a serious conversation now. It's deep voice Marco.
Is that better?
No, not at all.
I gotta work on your drivers, dude. That's it's the funniest glitch that can happen.
Is that better?
Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me. How can we talk about this while we're talking about mouse guts? Come on, let's get serious here.
Last time is nothing.
No,
nothing,
just go
not
for
better.
it. Just
As this. Okay. I think the other part of this issue is that like people don't think that you can grow out of this because it'll like bog you down with what it is.
I can't.
No.
I'm trying to hold it in, but I can't.
I mean, it sounds like you just hit puberty, dude. And you're talking about grow out of this. Like,
You had like your new X-Men secondary mutation there. Like, and I think it's funny because I'm trying my damnedest not to laugh while
I know.
the book about the Holocaust is
Really trying to
screen.
take him seriously for what he was gonna say.
No change.
no.
No change.
Damn.
let's just go. I mean, okay. All right. Get out of your system, Marco. I can get past it. I can get past it.
I can't, dude. I can't. You gotta fix that shit somehow, man. That's crazy.
Sean, do you want to talk about
try.
mouse?
Wait, say something?
Last try.
It's a mixture of both now.
You better try again.
Is that if I hop out and hop back in, will it ruin everything?
No, I can fix it. If you want to hop out and hop back in, just let me know when you're back in.
All right, I'm 2 seconds.
All right.
Incredible.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh my god. From Beyond the Stars says my laptop crashed, but I was typing that kill. I enjoyed the game, even though I am trash. Usually I can identify audio in 2 seconds from things, but damn, I got nothing. Harris says spit take from Beyond the Stars again. I love seeing Sean fall out of the chair again. How could I not? That's insanely funny. And now our entire it's back.
Harris said Marco Barry White edition.
Mark, are you
Anything.
That's better. I think so.
say more words?
I'm saying more words.
Nope.
Jesus Christ.
It's like not as bad as before though.
All right, just say what you gotta say. I'll be mature.
Talk about the Holocaust, Marco.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I just finished watching the education season of The Wire.
Okay.
So like one of the things that I feel like is counterintuitive is like being able to challenge a young person with something because they're bro, I'm gonna fix this and then I'm gonna come back in.
Bro,
This is so close to the drunk episode. I don't want to know what the drunk episode would be like. All right. Can I talk about Mouse seriously?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So Mouse, honestly, was the first graphic novel I ever put my hands on. I went to a small Catholic school up until the 8th grade. It was like a pre-K to 8th grade kind of Catholic school. We had a very, very tiny library in there. It was like as big as one classroom. But they had Mouse there. And I picked it up, and I fucking love that book. And honestly, I think that was my first introduction to, like, what the Holocaust was, to be honest. I remember picking it up before I even really learned that in history class. So it's kind of a really important book for me. As a learning tool, really. And it's a learning tool in a way that a young person can kind of get their thoughts around the subject matter. But also, like, in terms of, like, graphic novels, like, I'm like, yeah, I had read, a Spider-Man book here and there, an X-Men book. But this, whether I knew it or not, opened my eyes to what an actual graphic novel can be. It's not just this, capes and laser beams for eyes. You can actually tell some real shit in it. It's also a gorgeous book, too. Like, Spiegelman is a great cartoonist, so...
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. We did it for a book club, actually, and I was shocked by how good it was. I learned more about the Holocaust from this than from like anything really. Like you know what happened, right? Like you hear what happened, but you don't like get into how it really impacted day-to-day people, like what it was really like, and that's what Mouse is so good at. I think that the fact that there are people who don't want this to be taught says a lot about, you know, where we are with Holocaust denial and, you know, some of the wave of conservatism that has swept this country. And like, be conservative, but that's fine. I'm really talking about like alt-right or like, you know, conspiracy, like Holocaust denial, stuff like that. Like, you know, we can have any logical conversation you want to have about where society's at and all that different stuff. But if once you get into like, oh, the Holocaust, there was two sides. Let's accurately showcase both sides. Like, nah, you lose me there. That's where you lose.
You think with the advent of the internet, there'd be more room for information dissemination, like accurate information, but it's done the opposite. It's made people even dumber. And this just makes me realize, like, adults who stay at home all day and have access to the internet and don't have to work while their kids are at school are the ones that are probably at these meetings. I'm like, learn a hobby. I'm like, yeah. This reminds me of like this is more wrestling stuff, but like one of the NXT referees was like, he went down that rabbit hole of like the alt-right and was at these school board meetings and stuff. It was like for like the anti-masking movement and like unmask our children sort of shit. And like it really sucks people in and they think they're doing something like, but they're not.
And a lot of us probably have family members who get into that. Like you watch someone fall into a hole and it's like, wow.
Yes, 1,000%. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, not Holocaust denial, but you know, other holes.
Very similarly, did I tell you guys a family member when COVID first came around told me to mix bleach with my drinking water?
Yeah.
Did you do it?
I sure did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was on Reddit and I saw some employer took an air humidifier and did a water bleach solution in the office, and that was the solution for COVID.
Now, actually, let me read the comments real quick. Harris is making more fun of what happened with Marco's voice. Keep that.
I'm back, bro. I'm back.
You're back.
Oh, your balls went back up inside you.
That way.
Right back in.
From Beyond the Star says, admin and school boards are just more willing to bend to whatever pleases parents, even at the detriment of actually educating children. I have many thoughts on this. Kale, no. Are you for real? Yes, Kale is very for real. You guys should hear the things that happen off the air.
Yeah.
I didn't actually drink it. That part was a joke.
Oh, no. That would be crazy.
I did. I was genuinely told, and it does make me worry for that person's children.
There's one aspect of this conversation that I want to raise because a few years ago there was a book called Captain America, and it was written by Nick Spencer.
Yeah, indie book.
And in that book, Captain America at the end says Hail Hydra, and it's revealed that he's a member of Hydra. The implication was, if you only ever read that one comic, right? The implication is that they're trying to sell you on the idea that Captain America has been an agent of Hydra the whole time. And at that time, people were so angry with that, without knowing the context or anything else, that they were literally burning the comic book, right? Not understanding that, you know, you buying it is actually just fueling Marvel anyway. And people were very, very angry. And so I say to you guys, right? That is the same as this. Tyler, you're shaking your head no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You're wrong, and I'm going to explain why. Whenever you are burning books or banning books or saying this is not okay for consumption, you are saying that in some form or fashion, you're cool with censorship. You are cool with saying this is not for people. I'm an authority, and I'm saying this is not to be consumed. Burning books, burning someone else's creation is the worst thing you can do when it comes burning, banning, whatever. Those are the worst things you can do when it comes to obstructing freedoms. Information is supposed to be free. You're not supposed to censor it. Just because you don't like something does not give you the right to make it so that others cannot have it. That's bullshit.
I was thinking more along the lines when that Captain America thing was happening, and I don't want to compare a Captain America book to a book that's actually about the Holocaust. I think the subject matter is a little heavier in one than the other. But I thought the book burning of that Cap issue was more a protest thing, where this is a literal censorship. I don't think anyone expected them to cancel Captain America. That's not happening. I think some people wanted Nick Spencer off the book, I think. And I think it's more of the idea that this American who fought Nazis was a Nazi the whole time. Again, out of context. That's how it may seem. I can see the uproar about it. I didn't agree with it because I'm like, the comics guys like, hey, let it play out sort of camp on that one. But I think this mouse thing is a little more important and heavier than a superhero book.
Of course it is, yeah. But what that's taking what I'm saying like at a very base level. I'm not saying that, I'm not equating them as equal. I'm saying that it's always wrong to do this. That any time that you're looking to obstruct someone's creative choice and say this is not okay to consume is censorship that I don't stand behind. And I think it's funny that people get it in one context, but they don't in the other. And that's why things like this will always happen. People will always come up with an excuse for why it's okay to do this. It's sad. It's sad. But like I said at the top of the show, you can no longer succeed at this endeavor because Mouse is now number 2 and 4 on the best-selling books list. And now you've reminded people why this book is so important.
Yeah. How do you do a book? Is this more of a book? This is a book ban within the school district, right? And this isn't even like a Tennessee thing across the board. This is micro school district level. Yeah, and it's not banning of sales of it. It's just schools can't carry the book. I'm getting that correctly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because you cannot effectively do a literal book ban.
Well, they can't carry it
because of the internet. But
they can't carry it or they can't teach it.
The school district cannot carry it and they cannot teach it.
Okay.
It's banned from the district.
Gotcha. Okay. That's a shame. Banned from the education system within the district.
Yes, and on top of that, there is a transcript available for the conversation that led to this ruling. And one of the things that they discuss is, what do you do as a teacher if your student pulls this book out at lunch and quotes from it? You can't punish them because they're quoting from a book that you assigned. So this now opens up the door for teachers, theoretically, if a child did have Mouse in their school and they were reading from it at lunch or wherever, to say, hey, that's not appropriate for school, here's detention or here's, whatever it is.
Here's the Bible, which is what they're actually trying to make.
Right.
Oh, that book happen. where God sent down raging menstrual bears to maul children? That's the Prophet Elijah story, actually.
Listen, I'm fully aware of the Prophet Elijah story.
Struck down on this podcast.
Do you hear the Catholic upbringing in Cal and I's voice?
Yes.
They've heard it from me for a long time.
So wait, I'm confused by that quote. Like the danger is if you're whatever context you have this book at school and you quote from it.
Well, first of all, if a kid in a 5th grade kid pulls out a book and starts quoting it, I'm ragging on that kid as a nerd right away.
Yep.
So I don't think that's happening unless it's Goosebumps, specifically Deep Trouble. That's allowed, but anything besides that, not allowed.
Under the Sink?
Nope, not allowed.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Hermes, dork. Yeah, if a kid starts talking about a comic book, automatically a dork. Wait a minute.
Listen, no, you're not wrong. Nobody's stopping you.
It's just a weird situation to be like, oh well, this can happen.
It's because that's really not like if you take it at face value, sure, they look like concerned parents, but there's an
Right.
agenda behind this, and that's why it's not even worth validating by analyzing what it is that they're talking about. That's why I didn't even bother to pull any quotes. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. There's no justifiable reason for this ever.
I live right down the block from a school, so Sean, I'm a concerned citizen.
Well, go to your school board. Well, you can go. They'll escort you out because you don't have a child there. But you can go and you can discuss how you feel.
There you go.
Catherine's a teacher. Am I right in that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you probably have some real thoughts about this. I mean, it feels like the role of the teacher too is being micromanaged in every single aspect these days. Where I know teacher friends, they don't fucking want to be teachers anymore.
No.
So
Yeah.
real underappreciated profession, and I think it's really fucking sick. Really, how much we need to police it.
I got two quick quotes that I want to share, maybe three, depending on if I can find the last one. So the first one is from an Indiana state senator who said that he wanted teachers to be, quote, impartial when teaching about the Holocaust and fascism.
Jesus.
What?
That's where we're at.
Wait, repeat that one more time.
We're dealing with.
Repeat that.
Okay, an Indiana state senator said that he wanted teachers to be impartial, quote, when teaching about the Holocaust and fascism.
What? What's in part? What the fuck does that mean?
Well, you know
Both
that's
sides.
that's
Both
code
sides.
for, right?
Well-
We don't want to teach kids fascism so that when we have the fascism, they won't recognize it.
Right.
Like now.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad. The second one is from Neil Gaiman, who said, "There's only one kind of people who would vote to ban mouse, whatever they are calling themselves these days."
I believe
think
in
they're called
mouse, they're
cats.
the cats.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll leave the last bit of, quotation here, the last word to Art Spiegelman himself. He said, "I'm kind of baffled by this." He said, "It's leaving me with my jaw open. Like, what?" He said it was Orwellian. He said, "I've met so many young people who have learned from things from this book," which we're all, we all count ourselves among those. And then the best thing he said, "I also understand that Tennessee is obviously demented. There's something going on very, very haywire there."
And then he took a hit from his vape.
Yeah, it just makes a cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think that there's anything more that needs to be said. We understand that this is bad. It's the worst thing going. Screw you, Tennessee, but not the people who live there, just the ones who are about this. And let's fight against this anywhere we see it. Never.
We're going to
support
see
any
this snowball
action.
too.
Yeah, of course. This is
Yeah.
what's happening. It's an agenda, and it's winning. And they're using children, and that's what I hate the most about it.
Yep.
Before we get on to the next subject, which will be more fun than this, although nothing will beat that Marco's deep voice. Puberty Marco's my favorite
honestly,
character on the show.
Kind of into it, Marco. I was like, feeling some stuff.
roleplay.
It was a little
I can
sultry
play,
there,
baby.
Marco.
Tyler's like, oh yeah, maybe I could leave my wife.
We could do we want to do a Zoom later?
Catherine said, LMAO, oops, I joined in my kids. We talked all last year on especially Mango. Don't get me started on the role of the teacher. I just ranted to my husband last night about this. Thank you for acknowledging the underappreciation and policing. Hermes Pip said, I have friends who had Mouse and Mouse 2 as required reading. That's really cool. I wish I had been taught it in school instead of having to read it within the last couple of years on this podcast.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Sure.
What's Mouse 2 about?
It's just a second volume of it.
Okay.
It's
I
split
gotcha.
into 2 books.
I thought there was like Holocaust 2, like the Electric Boogaloo or something.
Mouse 2, Mouse Strikes Back.
Oh my god. Unreal. This is a crazy podcast. Let's talk about Judgment Day.
I would love to. The Book of Revelation. Tyler, let's go. Let's go. We're here.
I got it.
Let's go, Kale. We've been working towards this our whole lives.
We've got okay. So there are 4 dragons in
No,
specific
no,
parts
no,
of
no,
the financial district.
That's over. Good bit though. So Judgment Day is coming. This is something that Marvel has been teasing for a while. It's going to be an event that encompasses the Avengers, the X-Men, and the Eternals. They've been building to it a little bit through the Eternals series that's ongoing right now, written by Kieran Gillen. And this week, we got a couple of teaser images that feature dialogue that appears to be from the actual Judgment Day book or one of the books that's leading up to whatever the event will be. So, Tyler, do you have all 3 or just the major one?
I got the major one. I felt like the other 2 were a little more obtuse.
Sure, yeah, they're whatever. We'll focus on the major one. That's fine. Which has potential implications for the MCU. So it's a quote from Druig, who you guys will know.
Sean,
go ahead.
Can you read this in an Irish accent? I think I want to be immersed.
No.
Okay. All right. Well,
We tried.
Do you have one? Because you can.
I don't. I don't. Maybe Kale does. You're the closest to
there.
it.
Yeah, Kale's been there.
Have I been there? What, all white people look the same to you, Marco?
Did you go to school there or something?
No, dipshit.
Oh, Scotland.
Oh my God, Marco.
Kick your ass.
Again, you guys will be familiar with Druig if you watch the Eternals movie, which I know a lot of people recently did.
And if you watch the Eternals movie, I'm sorry.
Preach.
You know what? It's funny because a lot of people now all of a sudden really love that movie. Everybody's like, "Oh, I can't believe people were so complaining about this movie. It's amazing."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they didn't have to spend money on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It cost me $50 to go see that movie between me and my girlfriend. I had a bad time. For a million years, Earth has been protected from the deviants, but we made a mistake. We missed some, the mutants. That's a quote from Druid. So, the implication, if you take it at face value, is that the mutants are actually deviants, and were created by the Celestials, and mutated out of what we traditionally understand deviants to be, and now they look like humans, and they have all these powers. That sounds like a really, really great retcon that you can apply to the MCU to allow an easy in for mutants. Right?
It definitely sounds like a retcon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about this.
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
I'm getting
What do
real
you mean?
Ultimates
What do you mean?
vibes from this.
It's iffy. It's really iffy. Like, this should not be done.
Want me to go big brain here? If it's for the MCU implications this could have.
Yeah.
So, in Guardians 3, we're going to get introduced to Chukwudi Iwuji's unnamed character so far. He's the guy the actor that's in Peacemaker.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he is playing the High Evolutionary.
Agreed.
Who is somehow connected to the Eternals in the MCU, and he's the one that creates this kind of gene, X gene or whatever, and then seeds the Earth with it. And now the mutants are really celestial based in a way, and the Eternals got to fight with them. So
Not in love with that.
it's a weird. Also, I feel like this is bait. It's a little baity to put this as the teaser. Like they know what they're doing.
That's why I said at face value. I don't believe that at the end of this event that will actually be true. I think that if you do that, you annihilate, in my opinion, what the X-Men need. It's supposed to be an organic evolution of humanity that obviously can have many different meanings and interpretations depending on where you're coming at it from or how you're reading it. But ultimately, it's a story of a minority oppressed group, right? If you say that actually their origin is some kind of cosmic thing, I really think that takes away from it. It gives people within the MCU, within Marvel, the ability to treat them as second-class citizens all over again. It gives them another excuse to do that, because then they're not humans, right? Like then they're really not, and they never were. I can't connect with that. And if that were the original origin, no one would like it. I don't think we would still talk about the X-Men if that were the original origin.
Yeah, because it would be a Jack Kirby book that nobody understood back then.
Harris says, I remember there was an Earth X section where they explained that the Celestials actually created the whole Norse pantheon in Marvel. Yeah, I feel like I remember that from Earth X.
To a degree, though, that makes sense.
I agree. That makes sense.
And that's like not mainline continuity. You know, like you can do weird shit like that elsewhere, but in mainline continuity, it just gives, you know what it gives me? It gives me Fox era X-Men comics, right? Where they were always coming up with like a weird excuse, like, oh yeah, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are actually not mutants, and you know, Magneto's not really their dad, because we want to use these characters in the movies, but we can't tie them to the X-Men. That's what it makes me feel like.
Is this how they re-establish Wanda and Quicksilver being Magneto's children? Because they're like, hey, Magneto was not really a mutant too. Everyone is really just created by something, by the Celestials. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Hermes Pip says, wasn't the origin of mutants radiation from the atomic bomb?
No,
I have never heard
Godzilla.
I've never heard that before. If you can produce the Carfax on that one, I would love to see, because I don't know.
Show them the Carfax.
Show me the Carfax.
So would this be weird if, like, let's say the Celestials sparked some sort of mutation and it was still a variation of the humans, but they just like they didn't create them necessarily, but they provided the necessary ingredient for them to mutate from humans.
You mean like the Inhumans?
Oh, I don't know.
We don't talk about the Inhumans.
That's the problem. This gets into Inhumans territory. Like, at this point, how different are they really from the Inhumans if you do this?
Shenron makes a good point too. Like, if Marvel is doing the retcon for the sake of making sense in the MCU, then they can get shot themselves in the foot because the MCU may not use the storyline, like the Inhumans.
I feel like if the only reason to do this is if this is a collaboration, if this is them having foreknowledge of what the MCU is going to do and setting the table within the comics to make it seamless. There's no other reason to do it, and I don't think they would do it otherwise.
But historically, they haven't had that collaboration, though. I feel like I can't really. Is there something like I feel like the Inhumans we thought would be that, but then the Inhumans show came out and nobody liked it, and they just don't talk about it anymore, and they killed off the Inhumans mostly. Yeah, and even it looks like Kamala Khan isn't even an Inhuman in the MCU. She looks like she might be like some magic wristband type.
Yeah, but there are a lot of other examples that go against that, though. Like, for example, Nick Fury. Nick Fury being black in the comics only exists because of the movies. Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, their change only exists because of the Fox situation.
Okay, yeah.
And just one last one, the Norse pantheon, the Asgardians are no longer gods in the comics because of the movies. So, you know, I feel like this is table setting if it ends up going down this road the way it seems now.
Also, what's up, Shenron? I don't think you've been on the chat before, so it's good.
Shenron was here last week, I believe.
Yeah, Shenron was here. By the way, to anyone who's watching who's not following the channel, please do follow. We really appreciate that. And if you would be so kind as to subscribe, that's, of course, super appreciated as well. It's a great way to help us out. Hermes Pip says, I don't think the MCU will portray mutants well. Man, you know, I really believe in the MCU. I believe in Kevin Feige, so I can't say that. But there's always trepidation whenever they're introducing something that feels like it will require a lot of legwork to make sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, Shenron, thank you so much for the subscription.
There was a gift sub from Catherine. Yeah.
Oh,
hey,
thank you, Catherine.
What's up?
Thank you, Catherine. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Do we get a wish now that
Everyone's Krillin comes back.
It's Shenron, but you're going to be Shenron on this podcast. Hopefully Shenron is not an important name to you because you're Shenron now. we'll see how this develops. Obviously, it's not going to be until the actual Judgment Day event starts before we really know what's going to happen. But we will stay on top of it for sure. Let's move forward to another announcement that Marvel made. This one a little bit less exciting, to be honest. Daredevil's getting a new series after the end of Devil's Reign, which Marvel also announced an Omega issue for. This week, we now know that Daredevil will be relaunching with a new #1 from none other than Chip Zdarsky.
And Marco Cicchetto.
And Marco Cicchetto, yes.
Okay.
Which is hilarious because I feel like last week we just discussed a similar relaunch with who was it? There was another book that got relaunched with the exact same creative team. Strange Academy, I think it was. Maybe we
we didn't talk about it. No, but you're right.
Yeah.
They're treating Strange Academy like seasons, which what Daredevil wasn't announced like that. But you know what? Why get rid of a good thing?
Yeah.
Whenever they renumber stuff, I find it really annoying because I think like I feel like it's a way for them to make a clean break in, right? You can be like, oh, this is the new #1 coming out of this big, storyline that we just did, and you can sort of recenter yourself. But it makes it, I don't know, it's frustrating because if you've been picking up this story, it's what happened with I think Archie, and like I ended up losing track at some point because I was following it religiously. They did this whole renumbering situation, and then I lose interest because I forget where I'm supposed to be coming in on. So I feel like this, as an attempt to get new people in, sometimes backfires.
Yeah, I don't love it. I get it, but it just seems like a ploy. It just feels like something that they do to boost sales. This is like there's a I don't know if it's a meme or if it's real, but it's like the top things you can do to boost sales other than just put out better books. And one of them, it's like a Marvel thing. One of them is to relaunch it in #1.
All different.
Another one is to put like animals on the cover, stuff like that.
A purple cover.
Like the Marvel Apes era. Remember that? Yeah. Or a Scotty Young Baby cover. I'd probably boost sales too. I mean, they have the legacy numbering on this, so I mean, you can. That's the way they've tried to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Sean,
like I've given up at this point about caring about new #1s.
Sean, you said there was an Omega issue. What is that? Because if that's a new name for 0 issues, I would much rather we call them Omega issues.
The Omega issue is like a lot of times at Marvel, they'll do like an alpha issue to an event, which will be essentially an issue 0, and then an Omega that is like an addendum.
Like an epilogue.
Epilogue. Yeah. Sure. Okay.
So this is just going to be that. Notably, Devil's Reign did not have an alpha issue, so it's funny there. Yeah, this isn't a big deal. Cool. More Daredevil, year 4 of the Chip Zdarsky, Marco Cicchetto story. I'm here for it. Great.
I love how consistently good Daredevil creative teams are.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's the one book that it doesn't matter who's on it, besides Shadowlands, where the creative team is always firing on all cylinders. Like, it's just so consistently good. I would even say it's more consistent than a Batman or...
Far more.
Yeah.
Far more. The Batman had one... I think I'm right in saying this. One run in the 2000s that was exceptional, which was Grant Morrison's. Ed Brubaker's before that was notably not amazing. It didn't light people on fire, and I don't even know who else wrote Batman in the 2000s.
Snyder.
Well, no. I'm talking about like main Batman.
He did.
Right? No, he didn't.
Pre 52. He's talking about
2000s, not 2010s.
Pre Flashpoint.
Yeah, his run started in
2011.
Yeah, the 2010s.
Oh, you're talking about I thought you were talking about like 2000s in general. Okay.
Yeah, no, just the mainline Batman series.
Yeah, I mean, like with Daredevil, you pick up a team, post, once Marvel Knights happens,
exactly,
it's pretty good sailing from there on.
Even the worst Daredevil run from that era, which is probably, I mean, if we're just really talking about it, it's probably The one where Shadowland happened. Who was that?
That's Sewell.
No, Soul is afterwards. It's
Someone
he
liked too.
He did the Losers.
Yeah.
Green Arrow, year one, the island, whatever.
Diggle, Andy Diggle.
Andy Diggle, thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I really like that run. I'm not gonna lie. The Shadowland stuff. Go ahead.
Addendum: the run is okay. I don't like the event. That's where my main issue is.
My least favorite run is the Mark Wade stuff.
Wow,
Yes.
that's my favorite run. It's the most different compared to everything else. So I will give you that. Yeah.
Yeah. Kristen said, came to stop by for a minute. Hope everything's going well. Thank you for dropping by. Appreciate that. Sultan of Swing said, Shadowland is greater than Tinian's Batman. Let's go. That's the type of hot take that I want.
Ban. Where's the ban? Where's the ban button? I can do this. I have the power.
We might have to do like a battle of the books.
I would love
thing
it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
A March Madness, huh? March Madness. That's sports, right?
I love it.
Does before we move on, does this logo on the image, does it look off to you guys?
It's because it's compressed. That's just me. Yeah, it's just compressed on the screen. That's all. Yeah.
Boy, this feels like an unfortunate miss.
It looks really good.
Yeah, I think it's just a high quality thing that I tried making a little smaller, so it gets a little grainy.
But we do need to move on because Iron Man is getting married. Iron Man, and I hate to break your heart, Catherine, if you're in the chat, but Iron Man is officially off the market. He proposed. Now, when I say who he proposed to, I'm sure a lot of you will not know who I'm talking about. That's fine, but he proposed to Hellcat, aka Patsy Walker.
Dude likes him a redhead.
Listen, most famous for being in Jessica Jones. She was Jessica Jones' friend. If you guys watched that, she was the radio host there.
Patsy Walker.
Yeah, he is getting married to Patsy Walker.
Patsy Walker, who was Marvel's answer to Betty and Veronica.
Yeah.
In her origin, she wasn't Hellcat. She was just Patsy Walker. And then they realized superhero books were actually where the money was, so they made her a superhero. Have any of you guys been reading the Iron Man run by Christopher Cantwell and Jesus Saez?
Hear great things.
Oh,
it's good.
On that?
It's good, man. It's Iron Man versus Korvac, and then he really gives Iron Man a really weird supporting cast. It's Patsy Walker, Ben Reilly before he comes back to Earth, Frogman, Misty Knight, and the Gargoyle, which is like Marvel's Etrigan.
That's cool.
Huh.
And then it has Whiplash in it. It's got the unicorn. It's a weird book that's super cosmic, and it's really fun.
I've been meaning to check it out. I think I bought the first few issues, but I never actually opened one.
Yeah.
We're not actually here to dissect this relationship. We don't actually really care. The reason why we're talking about this is because it made me think this is a very strange relationship. What other weird relationships can we think of in comics? So we have put together a little bit of a list for the weird relationships that we can think of. And we want you guys to participate. So if you know of a weird relationship from comics, doesn't have to be superheroes, just whatever. Most of them will probably come from heroes, but whichever ones you think are weird, share them in the chat wherever you're listening, and we're gonna rattle off ours, and we'll see. If
Hermes Pip says a weird couple is MJ and Peter.
All right, explain that.
We'll wait for her to explain that. Let's go with your first one, Sean.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, so Tony Stark and Emma Frost.
Now, Tony Stark is a slut.
Yes, he certainly is. This one I've been obsessed with since 2006 when Civil War happened. Because this is one panel from a conversation that Tony and Emma had during Civil War. And what it features is the two of them outside the X-Mansion. For those of you who don't know, at this time, the X-Mansion was actually under surveillance by the state, the government, and Sentinels were watching over it. So the X-Men couldn't really like maneuver. And Tony's asking Emma to join the pro-registration side. He's asking the X-Men to join their side, and he references that they had an arrangement while they were both single. The implication being that while they were single, they would do their thing together. They would, have a sexual relationship. And he asks her if Scott Summers, a.k.a. Cyclops, is aware of that. At the time, Emma and Scott were an item. It doesn't go well, the conversation for Tony. Emma is not here for it, and she clearly is unhappy that Tony would even show up for this. But I can't imagine, I don't want to imagine these two together. I don't like it at all. Emma and Tony sucks. That's a ship I don't ship. That's a ship I want off.
Hermes Pip said, honestly, it has to do with the Raimi trilogy, just not good. Also, he's a Gwen head, or they're a Gwen head. I don't know. It's fair. It's fair. Not a Kirsten Dunst fan, Hermes Pip. Got it.
Rough. They for sure smashed, though. That makes total sense as Sultan of Swing. It makes sense that they would. I don't want it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I love Emma Frost, but I like the idea that, she's
got better taste than Tony Stark.
Thank you. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
So I had on my list here Husk and Toad. This was a couple that kind of came about in Jason Aaron's Wolverine the X-Men run, where Husk is this teacher who's going through some stuff because she can't really control her powers, and Toad's the janitor, and it's about Toad, who's like the nice guy who gets the girl at the end, but now he's in the Krakusi, so who cares? Where's the character development? It's just gone. So Toad be in the Krakusi.
I thought the story was going to end up as Toad was a student and she was the teacher. And
no.
It may have.
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope. He was the Yanator. Kale, you had Monsieur Mallah and the Brain.
Yeah, one of comics' weirdest relationships. A gorilla and a brain. What else is there?
Oh, that's so good, though.
Canonically gay, too.
Yeah. And you know what? That's the least offensive part.
Wait, what?
It's not weird because I don't like it. I like it very much because it's weird.
They actually even showed this in the live-action Doom Patrol show.
It's in the cartoon as well.
Yeah.
The old Teen Titans cartoon.
Was it in Brave and the Bold too? I feel like they showed these guys in Batman Brave and the Bold. Underrated show, by the way. Batman Brave and the Bold is fantastic.
Hard to agree.
I just don't like this is having to carry around this giant cylinder with a brain in it. Really limits Monsieur Malah's ability to get anything done.
Oh, he's got like wheels and shit.
True, yeah.
You don't become an evil brain in the jar without being able to locomote yourself.
And Kelly, you sent me this one too. You said this was a weird couple. Swamp Thing and Abby Arcane.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't think that's
What?
I mean, I don't think that's an unreasonable.
I mean, it's odd. It's absolutely odd. She's a regular person. He's a swamp creature.
He's a regular person too, bro.
How did
She be getting that green growth there.
Oh my god!
She might get a poison ivy rash. Is poison ivy an STD at this point?
What? What are you saying, Tyler?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the swamp member is. I don't know if it's got ivy on there.
Talk about poison ivy like that.
It's swamp member.
That's amazing.
Oh my god!
Is it mossy? Is he keeping mossy to make it nice and slick? I've slipped on moss in a river before.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Keep the weird relationships coming in the chat, by the way, if you guys can think of more. What's next, Tyler?
Next up is one you mentioned, Sean. The one panel Tony Stark and Gamora. Or who mentioned this one? This is Cal.
Yeah, this was early on, I believe, in Bendis's Guardians of the Galaxy. Tony goes to space and he puts the moves on Gamora, and the next page from this is it doesn't go well. Tony, they're both laying there. It's really awkward, and Tony goes, "I swear it's never happened that fast before."
That's such a Bendis thing to do, though.
Yeah, big time.
I put my favorite couple in comics on this list. Ultimate Quicksilver and Ultimate Scarlet Witch.
That one is so weird.
We don't even need any more. Like this is like the ultimate weird relationship.
Yeah, this is the one.
Marco, do you know about this?
I've never heard of this.
It's incest.
Yeah, baby.
Yikes.
It is. Yeah, Ultimates is a 4chan poster come into comic book form. It's
Yep.
literally just incest throughout. They are in love with each other. They're explicitly siblings.
What?
It's pretty gross. Yeah.
Yes, Catherine.
There is a sex scene in it too, right? Sean, am I right about that?
I don't remember that.
Or at least a post-coitus panel.
It's always extremely implied, but it's never.
Yeah.
I don't think they kiss or anything like that. But it's heavy.
Then you, I think, Sean, did you mention this one? Rogue and Magneto?
That was you, I think.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Kale?
I
didn't
didn't Kale.
Someone did. It wasn't me. Oh no, I did actually.
It was you, yeah.
It was me. Sultan of Swing says, didn't Bendis also do Kitty Pryde and Peter Quill? I recommended that one too. Magneto and Rogue is like, all right, listen. Rogue is not a child. She's not, it's not like Kitty Pryde, right? Rogue's a grown woman. She can make her own decisions. But Magneto is very old. And all the hair on his body is gray, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Like so old as white?
It's white. You're right. And I just feel a little iffy about this to me. Like, I can't get with this. I can't. Magneto and Rogue? Nah, not for me.
Thank you, Marco, for finding the Amazon Prime subscribe button.
Hey.
So Catherine says, damn, of all the ships I don't ship, I can't think of a quality one to mention, especially after incest. Blah. There's more.
Just
We got
wait.
more. So the real famous. This is the one I meant to put. All right. This is Norman Osborn and
that?
Gwen Stacy in Sins Past.
What?
This is
It's Tommy Lee Jones just straight going at it.
This is Tommy Lee Jones, Norman Osborn with the waves. Look at his cut, bro.
Yo,
It's
my
so-
dude
it's-
cornrows. cornrows.
Look at his fucking waves, man.
It's so funny that he would be wearing a t-shirt. I don't know why.
like a muscle tee too. It's like nice
Yeah.
and tight. Man, this is Diodato, right? On art on this?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you who are unfamiliar with this, I do want to explain the context. First of all, the image we're looking at, for those of you not on YouTube or Twitch, is Gwen Stacy underneath Norman Osborn. They're very close panels. We can see the Norman waves, and
Very
you know
close
they're
bodies.
having sex. In this series, what we learn is that Gwen and Norman actually had a sexual relationship over the summer while she was in Europe at school, which the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie kind of addresses, at least the her being away part. And during that time, he convinces her to have sex with him. They have twin children who get aged up because of goblin serum. And then those
Serum.
children go serum, yeah. Those children try to murder Peter Parker as the last wishes of their father, the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn.
And this was the big
one
bad
of
of Nick Spencer's Amazing Spider-Man run. There's a spoiler there.
This version of Green Goblin.
Those kids wind up being kindred in Nick Spencer's run.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he retcons it. Nick Spencer's entire run is to retcon this story.
Wait, this story comes from where again?
This is from J. Michael Straczynski's Amazing Spider-Man run.
It's since past, yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
I
It's
loved
probably
it, by
one of
the
them.
way.
You
Yeah,
loved it?
Yeah.
I loved it. I did not think it was bad at all.
You know what? To be honest, I don't hate it.
Yeah.
It's definitely not my favorite. It's, for me, it's a miss altogether. However, I think it, especially at the time, it gives Gwen some really needed depth,
Yep.
and it makes it.
Norman too.
Hey.
Yeah. It gets deep, that's for sure. Yeah, so Shenran says, maybe not weird, but Wolverine and Jean, it doesn't sink in my head. Well, wait till I tell you about Wolverine, Jean, and Scott.
That's right.
Thank you.
Missing somebody there. Key. Integral.
Do we have any more?
The one I had of Aunt May and Doc Ock, the image isn't working, but that is one of them.
That I have no I only remember hearing about it. I don't know where that would have possibly happened.
That's mainline continuity, baby.
Yeah. Yep.
What?
That's mainline continuity.
As like an old lady?
As an old lady.
Dude, she's been an old lady the whole time they've been doing Spider-Man.
I thought it'd be like a Marissa Tomei. Like,
no. This is like when she was like old in like the 80s. Yeah. And like it's directly referenced in Superior Spider-Man when Doc Ock is Spider-Man, he like tries to save her, he gets feelings for her, but he's in Peter's body. It's weird.
Doc Ock was getting it.
It's canon, my man.
He was making her show off them wheat cakes that she's so famous for.
Unbelievable. Oh my god, that is really crazy.
It really gives the definition to Tentacle Gang.
Yeah. So,
oh boy, gross.
Confirmed Tentacle Gang.
Hopefully you guys enjoy that little segment.
Do I ever need to change the slide, or can we just leave it at this slide the entire show?
Absolutely need to change that slide.
We should do a zoom in on Norman's face there.
Which do it?
Why
make that our pal's background?
Why does his face turn to the Green Goblin as he's making love?
Isn't the context for this like Peter's imagining it?
Maybe I don't remember that.
In one of the the ways that like when bad things happen and you're not there, you picture it,
Right.
Oh boy, he's just shot and webbed to this image in his head.
No, you know it.
Thwip.
Well, that is absolutely disgusting. So let's move forward. TKO Studios, who are a publisher that we really like over here, they have reached a major agreement with Simon & Schuster to distribute their comics. That's pretty remarkable. The agreement will begin on February 1st. Simon & Schuster are going to be the global distribution partner of TKO Studios for their comics, their literature, their graphic novels, everything that they do, at least everything that they currently do. This is huge. Because for those of you who don't know, TKO Studios does something really unique. They put their books out in one shot. So like whatever book it is, it comes out in a trade. They do their series in waves. So wave 1 was a certain grouping of series. Wave 2 was another grouping of series. With, by and large, I would say B or better creators. So creative teams that are actually interesting and engaging, and they tell complete stories. So for people who want that, this is a tremendous business model and company. And the fact that they now have Simon & Schuster behind them, quite frankly, I'm going to say something bold. I think that this is better for TKO than any other publisher. I think TKO's business model is better for this than any other publisher, including Marvel and DC.
This is a way for them to have to like cut out on their end, right? The need to be able to distribute books like this, because they have their business model, and I think it works really, really well for what they do and the content, and for their whole like idea on this. And then to have a partner in distribution like Simon & Schuster, they have a whole pipeline. It's built out. And considering the fact that you mostly will want to put these in like bookstores, in libraries, whatever it might be, right? Like that is the format where, that is the environment in which this format finds a lot of success. Super smart play, right? You already integrated into the Barnes and Nobles of the world. You're pretty much good as this company.
So, go ahead, Kale.
Well, I was just going to say, and not just that, it also adds another level of legitimacy for an indie publisher for the other media companies, looking to adapt properties and all that.
Speaking of their properties, you guys were the ones who read the Wave 2 books, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
They sent us a care package and they gave us access to Wave 2 and you guys reviewed them. What would be the ones that you would recommend to listeners who don't know about TKO and want to read one of their books?
Yo, I got you right here.
There you go.
Sentient. 1,000%.
Gabriel Wada on art. The format of, even the format of the book, it's like bigger. The pages feel nice. And this is phenomenal work.
Can you open that up and show the viewers what we're
That's
looking at here?
Gabriel Walta, not Wada.
Oh,
Gabriel
sorry.
Walta, by the way, who you will know from the Visions book.
Yep.
There you go. That's spoilery. Oh my god.
All right, I didn't think this was gonna be like a whole thing.
It's just
Marco's
like,
not used to. He's used to digital, so he's having trouble with the pages.
I gotta find the pages and stuff.
Yeah.
Just like really clean art.
Yeah, it's beautiful stuff.
The other one is The Banks, written by Roxanne Gay.
Ooh, yeah.
And is it Annie Wu on art, Marco?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I'll double check. But that's actually been optioned for a TV series.
Yup.
In the first wave was
Ming Doyle, Kale.
Doyle, sorry.
Yeah. And Jordi Belair, also part of it.
Yes. Yep.
and Sarah was the first wave.
Sarah, I liked. That is Steve Epting and Garth Ennis. And when he tells a war story, like that's his niche. We had him on the show. We talked a lot about, not that book necessarily, but war comics. And that is a war comic and done phenomenally well.
Yeah.
Love that book.
So, hats off to TKO Studios. They started in 2018, so to be this far along is pretty cool. Zay Chun is one of the founders. Great Twitter follow. Real advocate for comics and storytelling and stuff like that. So
real advocate for Asian storytellers too.
Yeah,
Asian American or Asian storytellers. Yeah, I think he retweets projects, from people who are lesser known. So yeah,
absolutely. But for as much success as TKO has had and is going to continue to have, like most of the other publishers that have popped up within the last decade or so, they don't exist without Image Comics. And this year, Image Comics turns 30 years old, and we're going to talk about them. The spotlight in our main topic today is going to be on Image Comics, what career it has been for them over there at Image. We're going to talk about the origins, why Image exists in the first place, what it's been like for them, the revival in the 2010s, back to prominence and sort of, reclaiming their spot in the industry, and where they're at now and what the future is and what they need to do to stay relevant. All that's going to be our main topic. If you're watching live on Twitch, don't go away. We will be back in 5 minutes or less. Just need a little bit of a potty break and stuff like that. And we will get into this main topic. If you love Image, you definitely want to hear what we have to say about where they're at. I think I have a pretty hot take to share. So we'll get into that here very soon.
Think being the operative word there.
All right. Okay, because we can only see you.
Yeah, I got you. I'm fixing it.
All right.
I only want to see Tyler though.
Thanks.
I am not
Thanks,
mad about
Marco. Thanks, Marco.
Tyler, are you going to watch the Royal Rumble tonight, by the way?
I am going to watch the Royal Rumble. I don't know at what point, if I'm going to be watching the entirety of it or what, but I will be watching it. I don't know if I'll stream it because, it's a thing. But yeah.
Yeah, you guys sounded pretty ambivalent about streaming it.
Yeah. By the way, stream chat, if you guys want to hang out after the show ends, we will stick around for a few minutes and talk with you guys. So
I can show you what I got. I got something here.
That's right, Tyler. Before you move away from that TKO Image, 2 books to really shout out. Tae Shun does Fearsome Dr. Fang.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Dan
Dan
McDade, real good art, real good concept. And Goodnight Paradise, I really liked. That's Joshua Dysart and Alberto Ponticelli about addiction and homelessness in LA. It's pretty wild.
All right. Well, let's get into the conversation about Image Comics. So, Image, for those of you who don't know, is they're publishing the 30th anniversary series. It's going to be called Image with an exclamation point. And it's gonna be like the Skybound X thing they did, very similar to that. So it'll feature stories from different corners of Image, from the different main guys, their books, and stuff like that. So that's gonna be cool to look out for. But Image Comics exists because basically, the creators who started it, which were Eric Larson, Rob Liefeld, Jim Valentino, Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, who am I missing? Mark Silvestri, and who am I missing? Wilche Portasio, right? That's it.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's it.
7, right?
You said Eric Larson? You said Eric Larson, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the only person ever be added to that is Robert Kirkman. But they started in 95, I believe, 92. And the reason it exists is because each of those creators, to varying degrees, were having a tremendous amount of success at Marvel and DC. For example, obviously we know that Jim Lee is the artist behind the stellar X-Men run that inspired so much of what the 90s X-Men would look like and feel like. Todd McFarlane, the creator of Venom, and did a lot of amazing things with Spider-Man. All of them have accolades like that. Liefeld with the X-Men, but they felt that they weren't being paid appropriately, and they wanted to be able to tell stories on their terms. They're very much a representation of 90s rebellion, which spawned out of the 80s, and they decided that they wanted to do what they wanted to do, and so that's what they did. They moved on and they created their own company, and they split themselves into different studios. Obviously, Todd McFarlane had his thing. Wildstorm was Jim Lee. Highbrow is Eric Larson.
Wouldn't really consider his stuff highbrow, but
yeah, I think that might be the bit.
Yeah.
Jim Valentino, I don't know if you count him as one of the founders, but he had Shadowline. Top Cow was Mark Silvestri, and Extreme Studios is Rob Liefeld. A lot of them, to be fair, did make characters who were strikingly similar to characters that they had, at Marvel or DC, wherever they were at. For example, Spawn very much looks and feels like Venom. Rob Liefeld did a lot of characters who had a lot of pouches, Cable-esque, a lot of them, stuff like that. Deadpool-esque, absolutely.
You do what you know, I guess, at that point.
Yeah.
If
you're good at it, why not?
They hit the ground running too. Like Spawn was an instant hit. You have Savage Dragon, Youngblood, Wildcat, right? These were major hits. So, they clearly had something going for themselves. But from what I know, and anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, there was internal strife between the creators, and I don't think that they really knew how to run a business necessarily, and that led to a lot of problems. And it kind of created a schism between them. Go ahead.
So Rob Liefeld was a little busy doing Levi's ads. So
really?
Oh, you've not seen Rob Liefeld doing jeans modeling?
What?
Google that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's a thing. The thing is, like, they were all big most of them were big personalities too. They were essentially rock stars. Yeah. I mean, if you're talking to Liefeld, they were rock stars. And I think a lot of the egos and stuff kind of got in the way from the business side of things in those early years. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's probably what led to them having, again, correct me if I'm wrong, like a leaner 2000s. Their 2000s, I can't think of much that they really did in the 2000s that was, relevant. And I kind of feel like Image got the reputation for being just like, these are more extreme versions of the extreme 90s that these creators can't let go of.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't have much to say about the 2000s other than the fact that The Walking Dead started in the 2000s and they had Invincible, which were big enough.
Walking Dead was 2003, so right around then.
I was gonna guess 05,
Yeah. So Robert Kirkman, I said he became the only other person to get that status as like one of the founders or whatever. That's why, because he's the only other person to produce major hits in the 2000s. No, I can't think of a single other book that had the penetration that those two did, not even close at that time. So we'll skip into the 2010s when Image redefined themselves. They clearly wanted to do things differently. I think Eric Stevenson probably deserves a lot of credit for this as their front man. They wanted to be a place where you could get something that was radically different from Marvel or DC. They didn't have the big IP like Dark Horse would have, and they obviously don't have Marvel or DC's money or characters. But what they could do was be a home for creators who didn't just want to tell superhero stories, tell unique stories about their own characters and give them free reign. And that's what Image became. And so when people talk about the Image boom of the 2010s, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about books by creators like Rick Remender, who did Deadly Class, which was a huge, huge hit for Image. Still is to this day. Had the TV show that, failed, but whatever. They're talking, of course, about Sean Phillips and Brubaker with Criminal and Velvet and The Fade Out and all those, big books. Marjorie Liu with Monstrous, which is a huge hit and also very good. And then obviously they're talking about BKV and Fiona Staples Saga, which is, one of the biggest books ever. 7 million copies sold worldwide, by the way.
Damn.
I think it was actually 7.8. So.
Wow.
That's wild.
Yep.
Good for them.
And that's the Image we know, right? The Image we know is a place for top tier creators and not to tell their stories, no matter how unconventional they are. Jeremy Holt, who we've had on the show, Made in Korea, very unconventional, not a story Marvel or DC is going to publish. That's the book that lands at Image.
And does well at an Image.
So that's the table setting for like how we got here. What do you guys want to say about, Image to this point?
I mean, for me, it's like, I think you mentioned like the 2000s, early 2000s doesn't really matter, but I think that's where the seeds were planted, really. I mean, Walking Dead and Invincible both started in 2003. So that's right around the time Marvel was that's what, Civil War around then? No. That's when was Civil War? 2000.
It starts in 2006, I believe.
Okay, all right. So even before that, but like they had that. They had, I think, Jinx by Bendis, which is in around the same time, 2003, 2004. Mage was a series that kind of was in the late 90s into the 2000s. So the seeds were planted there for Image becoming the destination for the creator-owned book that Marvel and DC just weren't publishing. Yeah, DC had Vertigo, but that was always in kind of this weird middle ground. If they decided it wanted it to be. In Marvel, I would say the closest they had was Marvel Knights, even though that was main continuity, but it was a little more indie storytelling or non-traditional Marvel superhero storytelling with some creators like that.
They had Icon, didn't they? Wasn't that their...
that was later on, I think. Yeah, I think that's where some Bendis stuff was. Yeah,
Icon spawned out of Bendis's. They needed to keep him happy, I think.
Because he was doing powers under Image. Like I have the books right here, it's Image, and then all Icon afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I know Fraction's Casanova is. I think it's Icon. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think like Hack Slash was also like early 2000s, So the seeds were planted for that Image becoming that destination. And I think as comics got big because of stuff like big Marvel events or big DC events like Infinite Crisis or Civil War, comics themselves were being focused on more as a medium again. So that allowed the creator-owned aspect that Image was kind of building up at that point to really, really kind of skyrocket in the early aughts into what we really still view Image as now. So
yeah, absolutely.
I feel like I've only ever known Image to be like the place for other kind of storytelling. I was a big Vertigo guy because I came in through Swamp Thing, through the books of magic, Animal Man, that kind of stuff, and that Image felt the closest deviation from that, and it made it really easy to pick up the books. We did Alex plus Ada. That was a series that started in 2013, like at the sort of the tail end of people finding success at Image, 2 years in, coming out of a saga or anything else otherwise. The Prophet relaunch was a huge moment in Image Comics history. They started publishing Island. Like there was a magazine. Like there was so much coming out of that fervor of the 2010s that really positioned them in a way to compete with Marvel and DC. I don't think I've ever shared it, but I have I don't know about you guys, but I have that chart of like market share. At the peak, I think Image was at 13% compared to DC's 30 and Marvel's 30. Like the peak there was like 2015, let's say, and that's a huge number compared to the rest of the books that were coming out. The MCU was in full force at that point, so there was, from a comics perspective, just like a lot of success that you could attribute outside of even, I don't know, outside of even the content of the series. They were doing a lot of things and experimenting with a lot that also helped just continue to bolster their success.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out. Sorry, Kale, I'll let you go. I just wanted to quickly say it's worth pointing out that a large contributing factor to Image's boom is the fact that a lot of creators were tired once again of working for Marvel and DC. It was almost an echo of the same thing that caused the founders to leave Marvel and DC in the early 90s. All those creators that I shouted out before, and others worked at Marvel and DC and decided that they couldn't take it anymore. So I just thought that was worthwhile context. But go ahead, Kill.
Yeah, what I was going to say sort of goes along with that is that's also sort of my introduction to Image. That was an era that was just fun, and even with a lot of serious stories like Monstrous, or to a certain degree like The Wicked and the Divine, Kieran Gillen and
that's a great one.
Jamie McKelvey. You had standing next to that Chip Zdarsky's debut into comics with Matt Fraction, Sex Criminals, which is a fun sex romp with some crime in it. But the thing that stands out to me that's so fun is, like, I don't know if you guys know about this, but McKelvey and Gillen and Fraction and Zdarsky had like a friendly rivalry between their books or whatever. They're good friends in real life or whatever. So they did covers of where they did like an old Sears portrait or whatever. Fraction and Zdarsky held up a copy of Sex Criminals and did the cheesy smile or whatever. And then,
I have that variant.
I do too. Yeah. And then Gillen and McKelvey did it as well, and it was sort of a one of the picture in a picture type things. And it just went on forever, and it was a point where like Image was fun.
I also think like one of the where Image stood in the grand scheme of comics at that time was kind of antithetical to their origin. It seemed like a lot of creators were getting their start in Image Comics at that point, and then going off to do Marvel books. McKelvey and Gillen went off to do Young Avengers. Remender went off to do great things like Uncanny X-Force or Uncanny Avengers, and then he did that one book that wasn't good. But it was almost the opposite. Whereas, the origin was like, all right, we're tired of working at these major publishers. We don't think we're getting paid enough. We're going to do our own thing. But rather it was, let's do our own thing so we can get that big corporate money afterwards, which I respect the hustle.
And then go back and do your own thing.
I think that was a way of getting their fan bases as a creator established to a bigger audience, and then they can bring them back for more creator-owned stuff that they have more control over. Yeah,
which is where things sit right now. That's primarily how things go, where creators will, cut their teeth in the indie space, do one or two Image books that pop or boom or whatever, mostly Image, and then jump to Marvel or DC, make the money, build the audience, and then go back. You look at Donny Cates, who's doing that right now to great success.
Yeah. Crossover is good.
I have a take, I said hot take. I hate that term, but
I have one too. Yeah.
I think that Image Comics has lost a step.
That's not a hot take. I think that's everything. Everyone's kind of agreed on that right now.
Explain, because I kind of agree.
So, Image Comics was the only space to get an Image comic for, the first probably 5 or 6 years of the 2010s. You couldn't really get a comic that felt like Image from anywhere else. Again, Dark Horse had primarily like the IP stuff, IDW similar. They have their gems too, but that's mostly what you get. Boom, I think, was still working their way up. And so it really was just about Image, unless you went like outside of even those publishers. But now that there are so many indie publishers, we just talked about TKO. Boom is a real thing now. They're legitimate. And so many others. Sorry?
They're booming.
They're booming. You have Vault, and like so many others. We're not going to sit here and name them all, right? That Image doesn't feel like the home for Image anymore. They lost out on certain major creators. Like, Tinian has done big things that weren't at Image. Like, Something is Killing the Children, notably not an Image comic. Would have been 5 years ago. And there are a lot of examples like that. Substack is publishing a lot of books that would have been Image comics 5 years ago, if they got made at all. And there's all this competition for Image's position in the industry, while I feel like Image just kind of has their hands up. And they're not really interested in pushing forward. They don't do a good job of promotion. I think their promotion is bad. I honestly feel like Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan should have an axe to grind for how Saga was promoted.
And we've had people on who have made Image books, and they've made mention that it's all them. They'll give you like, sure, maybe the press release, but outside of that, you gotta push the book. You gotta get people to come in. You gotta get there's no curation on the content end. You just publish a bunch of books, and the downside of that is you can't really boost your gems.
Right.
Unless you're in Skybound. I feel like Skybound's the one section that's kind of doing that.
Because Robert Kirkman understands those founders, like, all respect to them and everything, they're extremely talented, and they came up at a time where, like, who was competing for Jim Lee's spot? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's so good that, and I'm not denigrating them. I know Todd McFarlane's story of being denied 50,000 times by Marvel. I get all that. What I'm saying is that it's really easy for me to understand why indie creator Robert Kirkman gets it and they don't. They never did that part. Like, to my knowledge, I don't know that any of them had to do the indie grind before they made it. And Kirkman did. So he understands it, whereas I don't know that they do. And they're pretty hands off.
they feel very hands off, and it's weird to think that you're not there trying to push your books. Like you have, I totally agree with you, right? That they've lost the cachet of being the place to publish independent comics, and by not pushing the books that they really think will find success, they're also not reaffirming that, right? Because you're just saying, oh yeah, we're just another comic book publisher. Where if you want to publish your books with very little editorial oversight, little to none, we're here. They're banking on sort of that name recognition. But if you're not even pushing the books, who cares about the name recognition? I mean, they gave fucking Tinian allowed him to do it under his black label, right? And like, what is it? Nice House on the Lake.
Yeah.
Like again, another Image book would be, I think, and
Absolutely.
If they're standing by, like when DC lost Vertigo, dude, that's the time to fucking pick up creators and be like, come here, we're gonna push your books. If you're gonna be on Vertigo, fucking come here. If you're gonna be on, what was the other one? Not DC Horror. The one
Young Animals one?
Young Animals, another good example. Gerard Way, that's another fucking Image book. All of these are Image books by the fact that the I guess the differentiating like quality to them is that it's a creator who wants to tell their self-contained story in so many issues, and we want a place to have no oversight from a creative standpoint.
Image Comics is supposed to be, in my mind, the disruptor of the status quo of the industry. They're the ones that are supposed to shake stuff up. They don't even go after creators. Like, when you hear about the way that Image Comics get made, like from pitch to publish, it's rough. Like, Jeremy Holt talked about, I believe it was Jeremy, that they had to, like, know, like, Eric Stevenson's assistant or something to get his attention, to get him to, it's just like crazy. There's no system, and that sucks. And you don't even necessarily make much money, and like it's just a really bad way to go about it. And when you compare it to what goes on in different publishers, it's like, why would I go to Image now when I can go to Boom? I don't know why. I don't.
Yeah, there's no scouting, there's no courting. Comixology just got Scott Snyder to sign on to 7 books, right? Like, that's the Image Comics move. That should be the Image Comics move.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? You're losing out on these people, and as much as you like sign contracts with creators like a Brubaker, Phillips, Jeff Lemire, like who cares if you're not also getting people who are hungry and looking to really make their bones on their books.
Yeah.
And I have to imagine the Substack deal really hurt Image too, whether they know it or not.
I don't think it actively did. I think Image is reverting a bit. I mean, so the reason I picked this image for the slideshow is because I feel like the only real character or section of Image that they're actively promoting, besides Saga, my local comic book shop had a pretty decent Saga marketing thing. They had like bookmarks and stickers and temporary tattoos that I put on my lower back. But nice. Radiant Black is one of those characters and books I think they're really pushing. And I think because they're pushing towards traditional superhero comics again, they want to build an extended universe because maybe there's money there for extended media afterwards. Maybe they see Invincible and they see the TV show and the success it had there. They're like, maybe this is something we can do. And it feels like going back to their roots, for better or for worse, of the alternative superhero book.
And I think that can, I think it can work, right? Not to denigrate Radiant Black.
It's good.
We've had
maybe a little,
and we've had our mixed opinions on it, and I think that makes sense. I think in the landscape where superhero comics are more accepted, and this is the place where you're going to get or combined universes, right? Interconnected universes are more of a concept that's accepted. And if you're finding Image books in bookstores and on the bookshelves rather than on the comic stands, maybe that's an appeal to those those readers who aren't necessarily who are like the graphic novel readers, right? It's the same way why TKO signing up with Simon and Schuster makes sense because it's a slightly different audience. We're familiar with this stuff, whereas somebody who's only ever read, I don't know, Nailbiter or Astro City, right? These collected editions that are telling a self-contained story, giving them that taste because maybe that's and I think it's if they're giving them that taste of that connected universe, I think it might backfire because it's also a way to understand and contextualize what Marvel and DC do. And if we're trying to get rid of the stigma of the connected universe and superheroes, I think this is a way to do so. But I think it backfires on Image's part because I don't know that their boom, that wasn't their bread and butter necessarily. It was the minis and the telling of self-contained stories that weren't this.
Yeah, I completely agree. In the comments, Redrin Fatih, Vaith,
Yeah.
asked, does Image support Omni HC formats as well? Yeah, absolutely. Some of their hardcovers are nice, really nice.
The deluxe hardcovers are pretty nice. I have Once for Low, Deadly Class. They're good quality books.
The Saga Compendium is this massive hardcover.
Yeah. They don't really do omnibuy, really. It's more of compendiums and then deluxe hardcovers.
Yeah. And given their recent announcement about, due to the supply chain issues, they said that that a lot of that stuff wouldn't necessarily be happening the same ways. We talked about that here on the show. So Redrin follows up and says, yeah, but my point was more so Boom already has solid mini omnis and hardcover editions for Once and Future and Something is Killing the Children. They're active and quick about pushing their titles. Absolutely.
100%.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That is a tremendous point.
I have to look and seek out when the deluxe hardcover is coming out for an Image book.
Yeah, I have no clue.
And I've missed them. I missed some because of that.
Like Radiant Black barely has a trade out, right?
They have one trade out.
Like
second trade in March.
And they're on issue 13?
Something like that.
Right. That to me spells that they should have had at least 2 trades out, and this next arc should be preparing for like a larger collected edition.
I mean, 12 only just came out, so I mean they're fairly on time with that. Their Image is reasonable with their trades. It's the hardcovers and the omnis that they're not tremendous at.
I mean, they really like kind of pioneered with the $10 trades thing, and they do well when it comes to that for the most part. But I agree on promotion they're bad about, and then also the other thing is what Redrin pointed out, which is like Something is Killing the Children may have a few more issues than Radiant Black, but like Something is Killing the Children has the hot hand, and they made sure to get that nice hardcover edition out for people like ASAP, and I think Image needs to do a better job of that. And so Redrin follows up Noctera and DOT.
Department of Truth.
Department of Truth, yeah. I agree. I feel like they should have hardcovers by now, like especially Department of Truth. That's something I want. There's about 2 trades worth of stuff out right now, so I feel like 2 trades is fine for a deluxe hardcover.
Completely.
One thing I just wanted to bring up one thing that I think, as we talked about the history of Image Comics, of how it was these workers who weren't paid what they thought they were worth, and so they formed their own thing. It's kind of funny seeing where Image Comics is now, where there is a workers movement going on within Image Comics, that the people who created Image Comics are trying to tamper down. So it's almost like you live long enough, you see yourself become the villain, sort of thing. So that's an aspect that always kind of gets stuck in my head about the whole idea of Image as a company and where they are now. They're almost the big 3, really. They've become so big that I think they're losing their roots in a way.
And Image done grown up. Like, they're old enough now to have those problems.
When you become a millionaire, it's okay if you take other people's money, not not the other way around.
But one else, Kel.
Yeah,
I think, like, as we're discussing, what Image does wrong, like, for Image to still have that 3rd position, because I don't think it's set in stone. I really don't. When you have Boom doing the things that they're doing, I really don't think that we can say that 10 years from now, that Image is absolutely still in third. And what they have to do to retain that spot is sort of all the things we're talking about. Proactively seek out fresh creators. There's no reason why Image Comics should lose books like Something is Killing the Children to Boom. No good reason for that at all. Why are there not Brian Edward Hill books at Image? He did Postal, but that wasn't him only. That was Matt Hawkins made that happen. Mm-hmm. Where's Brian Edward Hill at Image?
He did his indie book was Vertigo, wasn't it?
He had
just before they shut down.
It was one of the last Vertigo books.
Yep.
Yeah.
AWA is snapping up creators.
Yeah.
Artists, writers, and artisans. They've got a ton of creators. Where's Mark Russell's big Image book? These are creators who have the hot hand right now, and they're saying, hey, I'm getting a better deal at Boom. I'm getting a better deal at AWA. Image has to put their money where their mouth is. If you want to be the third biggest publisher, you need to pay like it. You have to. And that has to be across the board. If you want Jeremy Holtz made in Korea, you got to pay. Why not? Now, of course, if the book doesn't sell, right, that hurts Image, but Image is taking risks. I don't think that you can look at the last 10 years of Image Comics and say they were printing money. I don't think that Monstrous is a guarantee. I don't know that Saga's a guarantee. Clearly, the creative team didn't think it was. And we can look at it now, 7 million sold later, and say that, but I don't think that's true.
The founding of Image Comics was a risk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Of course. It doesn't feel like they're willing to take risks anymore and pay for the risk. And if you're not going to do that, AWA will. TKO will. Sentient should have been an Image book.
And even with this, superhero wave, to me that's sort of why I've grown more and more against it. Is it feels like a safe move.
Yeah.
Superheroes are everything now, and they have been for how many years, and they're gonna pick up on this wave again. Come on.
I wonder if the idea of superheroes is more marketable towards shareholders, though. They're like, hey, we got these superheroes. This is like Marvel. We can make movies out of this. We can make toys. Yeah. We got the Skybound toy division. Yeah, it seems corporately generated now, in my opinion.
In fact, well, I don't know if I can say this. Marco, do you remember when we spoke to who writes Radiant Black?
Kyle Higgins.
Yeah, do you remember when we spoke to Kyle Higgins, if he told the story of how the book came together on the air or no?
To some extent.
I'll forgo it.
I wouldn't,
I'll forgo it, but I definitely got the impression that what you're saying is correct, Tyler, based on conversations that we had. So yeah, Image is not supposed to be jumping on trains. They're supposed to be leading them. The revival of zombies, I don't attribute to literally anything but The Walking Dead and I Am Legend. But Walking Dead came first.
Mm-hmm. That's Shaun of the Dead. Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Saga is not like anything else that you could pick up on the stands at that time. The revival of crime stories in comics comes from Image, 100%. Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips and everybody else who's great who's done it since.
I mean, there was a whole time where I feel like people were complaining about all the sci-fi comics coming out or like all the horror comics coming out because a big boom was from Image coming out with Nailbiter. There was like obviously the aforementioned Saga, but a lot of stuff from Prophet, Planetoid. Like there were so many comics like that. Yeah. Black Science, yeah.
We got some new Prophet coming out next month, I think.
Oh, that's with Liefeld, right?
Yeah, except it's the old Prophet.
Yeah. Well,
I hope that Image Comics understands all the things that we're discussing right here. But to be honest with you guys, I'm not confident.
I don't think they do.
I
think they do. I don't think that this is the direction they're driving the business, though. and I think they committed to probably some sort of move internally, and that's what we're seeing right now. But I don't know that it was the right call for what they need to sort of reestablish themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
They could be the premier destination for indie comics, there is a hunger for that in the industry, and instead I think they're pivoting the wrong direction.
Yeah, like they're already not there. I think they look at sagas and Walking Deads and they say, we want to replicate that success as often as possible, whatever that means.
That means like, reprinting The Walking Dead in color.
Yeah.
Right.
Issue by
absolutely.
issue. Yeah.
Yeah, which is nuts. Like, when has that ever happened? Maybe it has, I don't know. But that's my biggest hope for Image, that they learn these lessons, they know these things, that they can pivot, and that in 10 years, we're talking about Image Comics, the stalwart of the indie space, who makes creators who they are, who takes creators who are young and hungry and gives them a platform to succeed, and that's how they pop. That's my hope. But am I confident? No.
Speaking of creators that are young and hungry, Redren Vaith asked, do you think Image's obsession with Spawn has hurt them?
No.
I feel like Spawn's always kind of been its own thing with Image. It's similar to how there was the different studios, the dawn of Image. I feel like it just exists because Todd McFarlane exists.
Savage Dragon, same situation.
It's just steady income. I don't think they're really focusing on it, but
yeah. Shenron, I'm sorry, says, I think the success of the Invincible animated show also makes Image think to go back and be more superheroic and go for a popular book. That's a great point too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always a person who says on this podcast, businesses should do what generates money, because that's what businesses exist to do. And that's true, right? Like, they should not publish more stuff that's going to sell. I'm talking about the absence of that, like the absence of different types of things. When it's Saga, which again, I think they screwed up really bad with how they have promoted Saga in the ramp up to 55. But in the case of Saga or Invincible or Walking Dead, yeah, you're going to see it. It's going to be all over the place. But in the case of Made in Korea, which is getting critically, it's a critical darling of 2021, and yet for whatever reason, they're not talking about it. Jeremy Holt's on a book tour right now. How much muscle is Image putting behind that? Not a lot.
Nothing, bro. No way. I don't think they're doing anything. Maybe they gave him like a banner.
Image gave me this Saga sticker. They're doing something.
All right.
Sweet. The toys.
Yeah. But yeah, that's for their 7 million copy fucking. What are they going to do for Jeremy Holt?
I'm not even fully sure that the toys that are produced for Saga are produced by Image. I don't even know if they have a link.
I think it's like if their Skybound website is a separate website from the Image shop. Take that for what you will.
Right.
Look on your Will Lion Cat toy.
Oh,
see
yeah,
if you can
sure,
see a manufacturer thing on it.
As we get ready to close out, I do want to read this comment from Hermes
check this
Pip.
out. McFarlane Toys.
Okay,
There you go.
There you go. So,
well, that's good. Hermes Pip says, you think Disney or Discovery eat up Image in the next 10 years? From Beyond the Star says, I think Disney would try to eat up everything if it could. Whether they actually succeed, I can't say. Do I think Disney or Discovery eat them up? Nah, I don't.
I think Disney's making a bigger, more shirtless men wrestling purchase within the next 10 years. But
yeah, I can't wait to see the Disney-fied version of the WWE.
Wow.
they already got the streaming rights in Indonesia for them. So
I will say Captain America would make a great face. I'd like to see Captain America versus the Red Skull at WrestleMania.
Who would be the biggest heel?
The Red Skull is a Nazi.
Yeah, he better be. He better be. Although they did actually just try to create a new Nazi character. Gunther.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'll tell that story after the show.
The old foreign gimmick there with the Red Skull. Yeah.
Yeah. Ultimately, when it comes to Image, we don't know the future. As often as I have been called Sean Stradamus on this podcast, I don't know what's going to happen. But I I would say yes, Tyler. I would say that. Go ahead.
It's the old. Well, it's the
I've
old
never
guard.
heard you called Stradamus.
It's before your time. But
You're
you
a part
don't.
of the Comics Pals 2.0. Okay. So.
Okay, all right. Oh, like NXT 2.0. We're a little more colorful.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're the
lights
better
on.
version. NXT 2.0 is the worst version of NXT.
Yeah.
We're the better. We're better than that. Anyway, I don't know the future. I hope for the best, but I don't anticipate the best. But let us know what you guys think. What are some of the books that you want to celebrate when it comes to Image Comics turning 30? Who are the creators who you never would have known if it weren't for Image? All that kind of stuff. Write in and let us know your thoughts. You can get us wherever you're listening to this podcast. There's a comment section somewhere. While you're doing that, leave us a follow, a rating, and a review. YouTube.com/thecomicspals to listen to whatever we put out over there. We've got plenty of great interviews from 5 years worth of the show, whether they were at a convention or right here on this podcast. We've got a great playlist for you that has all that. You want to hear us talk to some great creators, including a lot of them who did big Image books. So if you're in the Image spirit, go check that out. Twitch.tv/thecomicspals if you feel so kind as to head over there and leave us a follow or even a subscription for the low cost of what's the cost, Tyler?
I think it's like
$5.99.
it's $4.99 or something. Or if you have an Amazon Prime
go.
sub, it doesn't cost anything extra.
Yeah,
So,
if you've got Amazon Prime and you want to help us out, just throw a sub over
yeah,
there.
just
It's free
link
for you to
your
do.
accounts up. It literally doesn't cost you anything if you already have Amazon
Absolutely.
Prime.
And if you want to tune into the show live, you can do so every Saturday at 10 Eastern and on Wednesdays for Pals Pools at 6 p.m. Eastern. So hang out with us. We love you guys so much for doing that. Join us on Discord as well if you want to continue the conversation beyond the podcast. Let's get into the plugs. Kale, you're up.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TotoInTow. That's TOTOINTOW. You can find my work at kaleward.com. That's CALEWARD.com. But don't you dare do it unless you're talking about Pokemon Arceus.
Hey.
Because,
Which I streamed last night.
yeah, I ain't talking about. Frankly, I'm ignoring everything until I get further into that game.
Are you liking it so far, Cal?
I only got to the point where you get like the regular outfit.
Okay. It picks up from there. Yeah.
It's a whole thing. Yeah, I figured. I am very interested at what they're trying to do so far. I do think it's interesting, but I'm very curious to see how the actual
it feels like a proof of concept of where they want the main line to go.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Sorry, not a Pokemon podcast,
but well, hey, listen. I can see this being like the precursor to the Breath of the Wild game we want.
Well, let's get through the plugs and then we can chat about that stuff down the road.
So you could follow me at the Tyler Olson on Instagram and Twitter. I just got this new profile picture made of me as a Muppet by artist who goes by at Sad Wastelander. Real good
Great
stuff
name.
there.
Well, Marco, I think you have an
really
axe to
like-
grind. Tyler just stole your spot.
I did. I thought it was free for all.
No, I usually go after. I didn't say anything. He's new.
I don't know the
What are you
rules.
gonna do? You know.
That and Marco's giant Muppet.
There it is. So
sorry. I can see it.
you can follow this Muppet at Mr. Marco Enomoto on Instagram and Twitter. I do want thank you from Beyond the Stars in the chat for the reminder. Everybody, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We can't let Kale forget because if we want him to do a backflip for the podcast, we need to get to 1,000 subscribers. If we want him to do it live on stream, it needs to be within the next 6 months. So let's get a clicking, fam.
Yeah.
And that means you want to see Kel die live on stream. So
One
NSFL.
American backflip. So a death one.
Oh, wow.
One that healthcare will
a
not
death
cover.
drop like in Drag Race. I gotta watch the new episode of Drag Race. I missed it last
Oh
night.
my god.
never
Okay,
mind.
so as for me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. Hit me up to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's because I want to buy Security Breach. I decided I'm buying that over Pokemon Arceus. I'm buying Security Breach. Can't wait to play it.
I didn't know you
won't
were a
stream
Freddy's
it.
guy.
I'm obsessed with Five Nights at
Interesting.
Freddy's.
Dude, I'm going to get you set up with your streaming setup so you can match, and you're going to stream that.
That's right.
I don't know if
Can't be
Harris is still
carrying
here.
the streaming on my own back, Sean. Come on.
I don't know if Harris is here, but Harris, you can tell them that is not a good idea.
How about this?
right,
Can we
you
set up
are-
a Can we set up a stream where you guide me through it? Because I've never played.
Sure.
Is there a
we
VR
can do
version?
something. No, I won't play
Oh,
that.
because I have VR. We can do a
You
VR
have VR?
stream.
There is
Yeah.
a VR Five Nights at Freddy's game.
Oh,
That would be incredible.
boy. Oh, man. We can look into that. There's a
right.
Steam sale going on right now. I'll look into it.
If I had VR, I'd be all over that.
Thank you guys so much again for listening. Until next week, we're the Comic Spouse signing off. Take care, guys.
See you next week.
All
All right,
right.
recording's done. So we can just hang out
Recording
now.
is done. We are hanging out with you guys. Yes, Five Nights at Freddy's is one of my favorites, dude. I still watch.
I'm looking this up right
tons of
now.
content about it. Tyler, you're not. Are you into it, Tyler, or no?
No. I mean, it seems like my thing. I'm a big theme park nerd, and I like.
Yes.
I've watched multiple videos that it's like ranking top 5 non-Universal or Disney animatronics throughout the world. Like I've watched weird shit like that. So I feel like the idea of like animatronics in like a creepy Chuck E. Cheese thing is right down my alley. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted on Oculus Quest. Oh,
Yes.
this is a VR one.
It absolutely is.
It's 50% off
That
right
sounds
now.
terrifying.
Harris.
Oh, you opened Discord again, didn't you, Marco?
Tell them why it's not a good idea for me to stream Five Nights at Freddy's or to stream
Because
any game.
you're probably saying some vulgar shit when you get scared.
I can't control myself when I'm freaked out or playing games or frustrated by games or anything like that. And Harris can speak to that. 'cause
I've played the iOS version of the first Five Nights at Freddy's. That's the only one I've played.
I think I played an early edition of it as well. Yeah.
I couldn't even play the first three. Like I bought 1 and 3 and I couldn't play them. Like
Wow.
it just fucked me up too bad.
Incredible.
Yeah, I'm a big pussy when it comes to jump scares and all of that. And I can't control my language.
Solo Swing, if you want to go back, you're asking about the new Pokemon game. If you want to go back into the Twitch stream, you can watch my stream from last night. It was like hour and 45, where I jump into the first hour and 45 of the game. If you want to see that, obviously spoilers for the game, but it at least gives you an idea of what you're looking at.
What would you say though to someone who's asking you that question but doesn't necessarily want spoilers?
I don't want to shop for anyone else with their wallet. I am really enjoying it so far because it is extremely different than what I'm used to. I think the catching mechanics are the best the game's ever had. I don't think it's as
fine.
ugly as people
Yeah.
say it was. I think it's fine for a Switch game.
What is
People
the
forget
difference
that like
in,
breath. Go ahead.
what is the difference in the mechanic?
Oh, you're literally walking around as a trainer, and you can. It's more like the anime where you just throw Pokeballs at shit. You don't have to engage them in
Yeah.
battle, but you can if you want. You can hide in the grass and sneak up on them and throw balls at them. You can throw like bait to try and distract them. They
they-
attack you.
They come at you. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's wild.
I think
and
you
it's
can see
like-
me on stream if you go back in it where I'm walking. I'm like, I see a Rapidash, and I'm like, oh okay, and I realize it's level 40, and then it throws a fireball at me,
Yeah.
What?
and I was like, yo fuck, and I just book it.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And your
That's
your
fun.
character takes damage. You can black out.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's you that blacks out, not like, oh, you ran out of Pokemon. It's like a Pokemon came and kicked your fucking ass.
So you don't just die? Like
it's
how do you
hard
not die?
too.
The concept is you're part of like a survey team. So you go out and you set up like you set up like camps and stuff. So your team is at the camp, and you let basically the idea is you let someone know when you're gonna leave, so that
If you don't
when
come back.
when you die, they can go look for you.
Because you're just a child wearing chanclas.
Oh, that's a thing. They've aged you up, so you're not a 10-year-old anymore.
All right.
Yeah, it's a. Matt described the story as an isekai. Marco, do you know what that is?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
See,
all right. That's I'm the only one that popped for that. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. Yeah.
Isekai is a genre in anime and manga where you get teleported to just a new world. So, like, I was reincarnated as a slime. It's about a person who's reincarnated as a slime monster. Is that the title? No. That's out of one. It is. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about your own life. I was like, okay,
you know what? Tracks. Yeah.
Lately,
slime ball.
Let's see. Harris said Sean gets extremely animated and competitive. Yes.
Oh, I've played Smash with Sean. I've smashed Sean.
We've seen that. Yeah.
You've never smashed me, bro. You got smashed. Let's be real about what happened.
No, perpetual bottom here, you know.
And even that was like not peak me because I didn't feel competitively threatened, and also
you can watch it on the Comics Pals YouTube. Wait.
Oh
no.
That's 1.0. There were some glitches in 1.0.
Okay, it was still a fun night. Marco introduced me to goat cheese, and I've loved goat cheese since.
Yeah, bro, goat cheese is fucking elite.
A whole bunch of dudes just playing Nintendo games, and Marco makes a goat cheese spread with blackberry jam, and like, it's like not what I would have expected. I would have expected like chips and dip, but you made this bomb ass like.
You might have to send me that recipe. That sounds amazing.
He sent me it. I make it all the time now.
Yeah.
And Harris, yes, if you get the new WWE game, I will absolutely play GM mode with you. Or alternatively, you could just come to my house.
I've been burning those games too much. I can't.
Me too. Me too. But my promise to myself was always that if they put GM mode back in, I'd buy. So you can
role play as Sonya Deville now or Adam Pearce.
I want to roleplay as Sonya Deville. Manny asked, "Pals, have y'all been reading Action Comics?" No, I haven't, but
I have.
Okay.
It's the Warworld stuff, right?
Yeah. It's dark. Yeah. It's darker than Grant's stuff. It's like a direct continuation of that. And
I'm waiting for it to all hit on the DC app. I think it's only on issue like 3 there. It's like very early. I'm gonna wait for it and just like binge through
I showed the pals during the break was that I got this, which is
stuff
breaking your back right now.
Dude, it's really heavy. It's all of Jeff Johns' Green Lantern at my local shop. They had a deal on it, and I couldn't say no.
Each one of those has to be what, like 8 pounds?
That was from your shop?
Yeah,
dude. I told you, Gutter Pop Comics in Buffalo is literally great selection.
I was thinking that'd be from fucking graphicnovels.com or whatever the fuck
In Stock Trades.
Yeah.
Shout out In Stock Trades. Best website ever.
Graphicnovels.com. Shout out to them. Love them. Harris, hold me to it, dude, for sure. Amy says, let's Comics Pals, Potluck, LMFAO. Some of y'all make good stuff. That'd be cool. That'd be super cool. And I think enough of us live in the East Coast that it could happen. Kale would have to make a special trip, obviously, but I mean, down the road, I think that's a possibility. What we'll do is if we get big enough to where we can host a panel at a convention.
Oh, good idea.
Then that can be like the after event or whatever.
That's a good idea. Shit.
Community comes out for potluck.
Yeah. If you guys show up and help us get to that point, that's absolutely something.
That'll be a Patreon tier 2.
Yeah,
if
like
you,
yeah.
We'll give you Marco's address and you can go
to Marco's house.
Come cook. Actually, wait. That reminds me. I meant to put this in the. I got a Humble Bundle for like 40 plus recipe books. I'm gonna put that in the Discord.
You fucking nerd.
Nice, dude. Shit.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot. One of them even is it's like a canna like ingredient book, which was pretty wild. And like, you can make beers and like cocktails and whatnot. I'm gonna put this up. I'm gonna load all that shit up.
I have a binging with Bobbish cookbook.
Ooh, that's good. That's a good YouTube channel.
It's all dishes that were in film. Like the one from something from Chef. I think the pasta from Goodfellas is in there.
Oh yeah. The White Castle burgers.
Yeah, and Elf's the candy and the syrup spaghetti from Elf is in there too. I will not make that one. That one looks vile.
Coward.
That's too sweet.
It's funny because the cooking aspect of this podcast, like the fact that we have so many like chefs, is the only aspect of our show that I think my girlfriend would actively engage in. Like, she doesn't know anything about anything else we talked about for the last 2 hours, but this particular subject is what she knows about.
Weird how that's taken off. Like that's been the one
awesome.
good thing out of the Discord that we put together. That's like, all right, this rules.
Like like the Discord is tremendous. It's the only aspect in our Discord that's unique from the show. You know what I'm saying? Like that and the anime stuff, I guess.
So in terms of like cookbooks, it's not a cookbook, it's a cocktail book, but this is like the cocktail book for me. Smuggler's Cove. It's like all tiki exotic cocktails, all like mostly rum based.
Nice.
It is really good. And I got this one from Chris for Christmas. It's called Geeky Bartender, but it has like weird shit in it, like how to make a blue potion from Zelda, or
That's so cool.
What?
a Rincal cocktail from Mass Effect. I don't play Mass Effect. Shimmer wine and Mutter's milk from Firefly. There's just like nerdy drinks in here. There's Elder Scrolls drinks in here. Sulfurin Slammer, Sean. That's in there.
Ooh,
A nice Warcraft drink that you actually light on fire with a nice rum float.
Hammer, yeah, good reference. I like that.
Moon Glow. Oh, that's Warcraft too. Yeah, it's cool.
Fantastic.
Tyler, Sultan of Swing says those were his first 3 omnibuses. Omnibi.
It's a good choice. What was my first omnibus?
Ooh, that's a big question. Mine was Grant Morrison's X-Men.
I don't think I have one. I've never bought one.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, no, I've never.
Mine was Secret Warriors.
Ooh, God.
Hickman Secret Warriors.
I want
Yeah.
that so bad, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I for some reason I never bought it, but I want that bad. Yeah, you can do whatever you want, Kill Your Host now.
Let me. I want to try and see if I can get this fucking sound thing to work the way we.
Wait, watch me play it now, and you can hear it.
I know, right? All right, let's see.
Nah, barely.
No, that's not it. Okay, let me try. All right.
It just breaks my overlay.
I can
It's the
hear
only
that.
thing.
And now we will begin the demonstration. This concludes the demonstration. Please remove your safety equipment and move to the next area. Thank you.
Yeah,
I got a question for you, Cal.
Fucking
That worked.
audible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just breaks
man.
it just breaks the goddamn Twitch overlay. It's the only thing.
Yeah.
I sent it to Tyler just before he started because I was like, this. Oh, geez. Because I thought it would be super easy. Okay, here's the first one.
Hold on, guys. There's been some two breaking news things. Interesting breaking news. Scrat from Ice Age is no longer owned by Disney after the creators won a trademark dispute.
Whoa,
It's pretty
that's
big.
actually really interesting.
Yeah. And Warner Brothers is rumored to want to begin filming on Joker 2 in 2023. Isn't that one of our...
Wait, what?
It's not an
What?
announcement. It's not an announcement.
Was that my point? I think it was.
That's not an announcement, though.
No,
This is a
it's
rumor.
not an announcement. It's a rumor. It has to be.
Oh,
It has to be
okay. All right.
fact.
It has to be like on deadline. They announced it.
All right. If you guys want to hear the rest, I'll play them. But
Man, the
I just wanna
game's
see if it
over.
would work.
I'm just salty.
well, I mean, what else is new? I just wanted to see if that would work. So now we know I can do it that way.
Yeah. All right. Let's get out of here. It's been fun. It's been real.
Yeah, I gotta go to the post office before it closes.
A light up Pokemon.
I gotta get ready for the Royal Rumble.
What are you doing for the Rumble, Sean? You just shooting
Drinking
shit?
and doing something else I can't say.
Jerking it.
No.
I think you can say that.
Can I?
Jerking it? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Gail
you
Gail
can say
just did.
that. Yeah, you can't say what I'm talking.
Oh no, yeah, maybe not. You fill in the lines there.
Oh, you and Phil are going to be jerking it.
No. Dude, I haven't spoken to Phil since they left.
Yo,
Man,
he texted me yesterday, and he was like, "You trash."
Nice.
All right, guys. See you guys next week. Thanks for joining.
Yep.
Really appreciate it. Take care.